Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Rant Booth, exclusively here on A2D Radio. We are live broadcasted on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, wherever you get your podcast. We are here, and we are ready to talk everything sports tonight. We're going to be talking fantasy football. We're going to be talking Phillies as they continue to beat up on the bad teams, which is good. Let's just hope they can do that against the Mets if we get to the Mets in the playoffs. So we'll talk about that. Remember, we're here live, all campus. All campus is on 10th Street in Ocean City, New Jersey. So out on the road hearing us right now in the area of Ocean City, make sure you come to 10th Street on the boardwalk and check us out. We're live here every Wednesday. Poll of the night, let's get right into it. John Coyle to my left or right. I don't know my left and right anymore. Jimmy Rodweller. And the poll of the night is landing a top 3 wide receiver is more important than landing a top 3 running back for your fantasy football team. So I drafted last night for one of my main leagues.
Yeah.
Had the first overall pick, which I hated.
I despise that. Yes,
because going into going into your night, it just ruins your overall strategy for the draft, in my opinion. Like everybody tells you to go get Jonathan Taylor, which I didn't get.
Right.
My strategy was get one of those 4 receivers, no matter what pick I had. I ended up drafting Justin Jefferson, and then you go out and get 2 solid running backs at 24
Afterwards.
and 25.
Okay.
And that's what I did. I mean, I Justin Jefferson, and then I went Saquon and Travis Etienne.
Yeah, I agree with you. Having the first pick is, to me, a death sentence because it's home run or bust, right? If that guy's a bust, you literally have to wait almost 2 more rounds to get another pick. So that first pick has got to be a home run.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, it has to be a running back. I just don't think – I know you're a PPR league, right?
Yep.
So wide receivers are, big in that. I get it. But running backs, in my opinion, still win fantasy football.
Mm-hmm.
I can't take anyone else than a running back in the first 4 rounds for me. That's how I draft. That's how I've always drafted. I've always had success with it. So taking a top 3 wide receiver is more important. I have to disagree completely to the poll.
Yeah, I'm going to totally agree to the poll. I just think the way that the league is transitioning nowadays, where you got guys like Josh Allen who just beasts of arms,
Right.
and then they'll take touchdowns away from your running backs when you're inside the 10-yard line.
Right.
Because they're either A, going to pass the ball,
or they're running it.
Or they're going to run it.
Yeah.
They're going to run it for touchdowns. So you might as well go out and get the Stephon Diggs. You might as well go out and get the Justin Jefferson or the Cooper Kupp.
I agree. I agree with you. And it seems like usually you always have or are playing against a wide receiver or a quarterback who just goes completely off, and you either win or lose by that. Right? To me, the running backs are your steady eddies, right? They're going to get you your 20 to 24, 25 points a game every single week. But then you're going to wide receivers who get you 6 one week, next week get you 42.
Yeah.
Right? It's a home run or bust. There's not many steady eddies in the wide receiver category for fantasy football. That's why I like to just take my guaranteed points every single week and take the running backs the first 4 picks.
Yeah. So going into this fantasy football season per se.
Right.
I was just looking at all the stud right like people's arguments to disagreeing to this poll, saying you need a running back over the top wide receiver.
Right.
The thing is, you could go get your top dog in a Justin Jefferson. You can get your 2 running backs, and then that 4th and 5th round, you come back to back with St. Brown from Detroit, and then you could get Christian Kirk later on in the draft.
Right.
I think what I ended up doing was St. Brown in the 4th, and then I think I ended up getting
Travis Etienne or
no, Travis Etienne was my 3rd round pick.
Okay.
So I think I was Kyler Murray, honestly, 5th round, because that's
you took a quarterback 5th round.
Yep, 73rd pick overall, so that's around the 5th round.
Okay.
So I did what? 3 wide receivers, 2 running backs, and a quarterback in the first 6 rounds.
Okay.
So
I mean that's not horrible ratio, and I probably would be two wide receivers, 4 running backs in my first 6 rounds. That's usually what I'll do. And then I'll throw in my quarterback or tight end, whatever I feel next in the 7th round. Again, I would rather have a good running back, a starting running back on my bench
Yeah,
than have a starting wide receiver on my active team
yeah.
for the week.
I mean, but then there's also depth picks that you can get in those later rounds with running backs. I mean, I got James Robinson really late. I got
Yeah,
Kenny Gainwell really late. J.K. Dobbins was there in I think the
I'm
seventh
a
or eighth
big
round.
Dobbins fan. I
Like
think
he's going to be the RB
he's
one.
going to be the
He's going to
guy.
be the
Yeah.
RB one in Baltimore.
Yes.
So you got to think about that. Where if you do get one of those guys, you're going to have options with other wide receivers in those middle rounds are going to win your championships.
100%.
It always happens, and I think as this year progresses, I think people are slowly going to go to the point where, wow, a top 3 wide receiver is more important than getting a top 3 running back, just because the way the league is transitioning.
To the 65% passing
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And then the fact that a lot of these quarterbacks are becoming mobile. I mean, Justin Herbert's another guy that I know Austin Eckler's a touchdown machine, but like inside the 10-yard line, he's going to be throwing it to Mike Williams. He's going to be throwing it to Keenan Allen. He's going to be throwing it to Austin Eckler.
Who do you have as your top 4 running backs and your top 4 wide receivers?
All right, so Cooper Kupp, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Stephon Diggs in no particular order. I think those are hands down the top 4 fantasy wide receivers.
Okay.
Devontae Adams is on the outside looking in just because new system,
new team,
new quarterback. Yep. Quarterback is not as good as the last.
Yeah, I mean, no matter how great you think David Carr is, it's a downgrade from Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. And then, so I think those are the 5. Devontae's on the outside.
Okay.
And then running backs, that's where it gets tricky. Like, is Derrick Henry going to have a great year? Like, he's going to be in the top 4. Like,
you have to put him there.
Yeah, I understand that, but are you trusting Jamar Chase more, or are you trusting Derrick Henry more to put up 20 points a game?
I'm trusting Henry consistently to put me up 20 points. Now, when it's all said and done, maybe they come out close to that average, both of them. Mm-hmm. But week after week after week, I know I'm going to get that consistency from a running back where I know I'm going to have down weeks and I'm going to have explosive weeks from Chase or any other wide receiver.
Yeah. No, I hear you. But, like, those running backs, you got Jonathan Taylor, obviously.
Right.
CMC is number 2.
Correct. Henry would
be 3.
Right.
And then
it's a toss-up with
like
4.
Alvin Kamara or Najee Harris. Like, I love
Dalvin
Najee
Cook.
Harris, but I wasn't taking Najee Harris number 1 overall.
No.
I wasn't taking Dalvin Cook number 1 overall. That's why I had to look at those top 4 receivers, and no matter what pick I got, I was going to be able to get one of them.
Right.
Like, I would have loved the 10th pick.
So, in your draft, how many wide receivers went in the first round?
So Diggs went 12. Jamar Chase went, I think, 10.
Okay.
I obviously took Jefferson first, and I think Cooper Kupp went 5th.
So you had 4 wide receivers in the first round?
Those 4 went in the first round, and then Devontae Adams was early second round.
Wow. Okay.
So,
I mean, I just feel like that's just a lot of wide receivers in round 1. That's just my opinion. I haven't done a draft yet. I have all mine this weekend and next week. Mm-hmm. And we're actually going to do the all-campus one next week during the show.
Okay.
But I just can't fathom taking a wide receiver in the first round when I know the consistency is just not there.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I just, in my 14-man league last year, I got Derrick Henry with my number 1 pick. I wasn't the number 1 pick, but with my first round pick, I was Derrick Henry. And I ended up finding like Cooper Kupp in the 4th round. Cooper Kupp was carrying me because Derrick Henry gets hurt.
Right.
And I'm not saying he gets hurt every year, but running backs get hurt.
Right.
More likely than wide receivers get hurt. So that's why I feel like it's just the safer pick to go for the prima dominant wide receivers.
I agree with you. I especially like Jefferson, who has a great number 2. Mm-hmm. Or, I mean, some people call Jefferson the number 2.
They're going to be a passing offense now, too. With the offensive-minded head coach.
They're going to be probably – everyone's going to be a passing offense, right? Let's not kid ourselves.
But Zimmer hated passing the football.
Yeah. I think every team's going to be more of a passing offense than they are a running offense from now on. But you still have Dalvin Cook there, so you're still going to be running the ball a lot.
Yeah.
But you have to know 6 or 7 weeks, Jefferson's only going to get you 10 points or less.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to happen. I don't think you can say the same for Dalvin Cook. I think Dalvin Cook will always find you 15 or more points every week.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I just go consistently first-round running back.
Yeah. So Morph checks in. He's asking trade scenarios already.
Oh, boy. Here
See,
we go.
I'm always a big proponent against not trading away your roster a day after the draft.
I can't do it.
I can't stand it.
Yeah.
I mean, be comfortable with your team.
Right.
But Morph comes in and says Elijah Mitchell and Robert Woods, I'm assuming, for Allen Robinson. I have Stafford and Akers. Is that a good trade, or am I giving too much? 12-man PPR. I don't think you should have that many.
So
guys.
I heard you say that Monday on your show where you don't like stacking, and I'm the same way. I'll stack a quarterback and a wide receiver, but I won't stack a quarterback, wide receiver, running back, or quarterback, wide receiver, tight end.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't stack that many. There's only one ball, guys.
Yeah.
Right? There's on average only 3 touchdowns scored a game.
Mm-hmm.
You can't hope 2 of your guys get 2 out of 3 of those touchdowns.
I don't even know if I would consider doing a Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs. That's how much I'm against it. Because the second that Josh Allen, the scheme is more towards a James Cook and Devin Singletary that game.
Correct.
Josh Allen could be completely out of it, and Stephon Diggs.
Diggs could be out of it. Yeah. Right.
So you got to think about it that way. So just having 3 guys from the same team is just, I think, is asinine in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Especially going quarterback and then 2 outside weapons.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't do it.
So Pove checks in. He says, I'd even draft a wide receiver 3 before drafting a running back 2, based on Jimmy's exact argument. So my wide receiver 3 is St. Brown, and my running back 2 is ATN in my main 12-man PPR league.
Yeah, I don't even think that's close. I think
ATN's got to take the cake on that one.
Right.
I mean, St. Brown was my 4th-round pick, and ATN was my 3rd-round pick.
Right.
I needed to get 2 running back. Like, the bottom line is, if you draft anything but running back in the first round, you have no option. You have to go draft 2 running backs right away.
You have to.
3rd round.
You have to. Yes.
Yeah. And I honestly, I think I'm going to go with that whole strategy all of my drafts. Just try and go get one of those receivers, and then just possibly even go 4th round running back as well. Just 3 running backs after.
So here's the main question, right? Is you have 2 in most leagues. You have 2 starting running backs, 2 starting wide receivers, a tight end, and a flex. Who do you like to have at the flex? If it was a toss-up between a running back and a wide receiver
in a
PPR, who do you usually go with?
So, I would say you want to do running back,
right?
But if you have like a sleaze running back in a horrible offense with a bad offensive line,
let's say they're comparable.
They're just if they're comparable, then running back.
You're going running back. Right?
I didn't want St. Brown to be like. I love St. Brown, but I didn't want him to be my flex. I wanted a strong 3rd running back with ATN and Saquon. But looking at the draft board, it just didn't happen that way. So that's why I needed to go with that wide receiver, because as everybody's saying in the chat,
right,
it's stacked with just potential with wide receivers like a St. Brown, like an Allen Robinson, like a Christian Kirk.
And that's where I'm at, right? You could go down the line and take Lazar from Green Bay, who's going to probably be their number 1 wide receiver.
Yeah.
You could get him in the 9th?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's a passing offense.
Yeah.
They have the best quarterback in the league, arguably. So he's going to put up numbers.
Also, if you go with your strategy where you're drafting 4 running backs in the first 4 rounds, DeAndre Hopkins is going to be right there on a silver platter.
DeAndre Hopkins is another one,
because
right?
of 6-game suspension.
Yeah.
So that's also another thing. You get 4 stud running backs, you get DeAndre Hopkins, and then you go get another receiver in the 6th, which could be the Christian Kirk type
100%.
player.
Yeah, who are going to an Allen Robinson. Right? A guy who's going to get targets.
Yeah.
And possibly get 1,000 yards receiving late in the 9th and 10th rounds.
Mm-hmm. So before we get to Axis, Evan Harrison real quick. Evan Harrison says, what do you think of Breece Hall and Nyheim Hines, I'm assuming, for Javonte Williams? Take that trade.
Oh, what is it?
Breece Hall and Nyheim Hines for Javonte Williams from Denver.
All over it.
I think Javonte Williams is going to be Marshawn Lynch.
So do I.
Next to Russell Wilson.
Yeah,
I am so high on Javonte Williams, it's not even funny.
He's 100%. If I have the 9th, 10th, 11th pick in my fantasy, he's someone who's going to be in my range there.
Honestly, I think he may not have the workload that Jonathan Taylor had last year, but he can be that breakout stud the way Jonathan Taylor was last year.
Oh, I agree.
I think Javonte Williams is going to be a top 3 running back this season, along with Taylor and CMC if he stays healthy.
I agree.
And
I think he's going to be up there with Cook and those guys, yes.
And I think ATN also has that possibility if he gets the touches. If he gets the touches and Robinson doesn't take any touches.
I was just about to say, you guys see third down, I would assume Robinson's going to be the guy third down there.
Yeah.
Not that ATM's not good at it, but I do think Robinson will be the third down, especially him coming off injury. Mm-hmm. This might be a not every down back this year.
But I just love ATN's potential with the fact that he's with his college quarterback.
I was just about to say that too, yeah.
He's in a Doug Peterson offense where Doug Peterson offenses running backs just thrive.
The screen game is big.
Yeah. I mean, you look at Blunt, you look at Ajayi, you look at Corey Clement.
Right.
Like Corey Clement and Travis Etienne, they have similar play styles. I mean, Corey Clement had 10 receptions and 100 yards in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Christian Kirk, they signed a bunch of other guys down there. Marvin Jones, I think, is another late round pick.
Very good. If he can play a full year, he's a very good, talented wide receiver.
So I'm all over the Jacksonville offense. I mean, they're basically my entire bench is the Jacksonville offense.
So Jacksonville is actually my sleeper pick to win the Super Bowl this year. I know it's crazy, but I always bet one sleeper. Yeah, and they're my sleeper this year.
It's kind of like what the Orioles odds were in June.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody thought that they were going to be a game and a half out of the wild card this late into the season.
Yeah, I think that division's weak, and I think they are a talented team, and I know they got a good coach now.
Yeah. So Axis comes in. He's talking a trade scenario for a keeper league. I receive A.J. Dillon, a first and a second, and he gets Jonathan Taylor, a 16th and a 17th. My other running backs are Breece Hall, ATN, Ramondre, and Madison. Should I accept 14-man keeper?
I'm never giving up Jonathan Taylor in a keeper.
Especially in a 14-man.
Yeah, there's zero chance. I don't care if he's giving me a first, second, third, and fourth. I
just don't think you're getting enough value for a 14-man league. You know,
no.
For somebody who is in a 14-man league that's like competitive year in and year out,
right?
Those numbers really dwindle real quick. And if you have a guy like Jonathan Taylor that's going to be a workhorse, I mean, I say this when I'm the one that didn't draft him first overall just yesterday, but like Jonathan Taylor fell to you. And it wasn't from the first overall.
No, 100%. I was going to say you probably kept him from last year, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So why would you trade him for a first? Because if you had the first overall pick, you're taking him. So it makes no sense.
Yeah.
You're not going to get any higher of a pick than him.
But I'm assuming he would get that first round pick and he would have his own
second round pick. Yeah, so he would have 2 first rounders next year.
Yeah.
And 2 second rounders. I'm still not.
Especially when your other running backs are Breece Hall, ATN, and Ramondre.
Yeah.
And you always know that Dalvin Cook could potentially go down. So Alexander Madison is good to stash on your bench.
Very valuable, yeah.
But if Breece Hall goes off the way that people are saying he's going to go off, which I don't think he will.
I don't think he's going. I think he's talented enough. I just don't think that offense is going to allow him to, because they're going to be stacking the box against him, right?
Yeah.
They're going to let Zach Wilson try to beat him.
And Michael Carter had a damn good rookie year last year.
Before he got hurt,
nothing
right?
to work with.
Yeah.
I mean, he's only in his second year. So, so for everybody to think that Breece Hall is just going to be taking all those snaps away from Michael Carter, I think they're crazy.
Right.
And we all know that I love ATN, and Ramondre Stevenson's probably going to be the lead horse in New England. I mean, you never know with New England.
I was about to say New England's going to have 7 running backs when it's all said and done.
But, dude, just keep JT, keep ATN, and then draft a receiver in the first. I think that's your best bet. I don't know.
100%. I'm not trading. Listen, if you were trading for a first round pick to another team where you think you could get higher than JT, I would do it.
Yeah.
But you're not getting higher than JT, so why are you giving them up?
Yeah, I don't
right?
know. Yeah. Unless you're getting just a stack load of just chips. I don't think
right. If you're pretty much kicking in this year and saying I'm playing for the championship next year, then okay, maybe do it, right? If the rest of your team's bad after Jonathan Taylor, okay, I can see that. Mm-hmm. But if you have a chance with Jonathan Taylor this year, I'm not giving them up.
All right. Before we get to Brad, Sophia Pena, would you pick Derrick Henry or Dalvin Cook? I know who you're picking.
Yeah, I'm a Cook guy. I ultimately might take Cook second overall behind JT.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm a big
He fell to 9.
Dalvin Cook.
He fell
Yeah,
to 9
that's
in my leagues
crazy to me.
yesterday.
Absolutely crazy to me.
CMC fell to 7. I think
I can see that.
me picking Jefferson first overall, I think it shook people.
Right. That definitely throws the draft in a tailspin. Yeah.
Yeah. So CMC fell to 7. Cook went to 9. So.
Yeah, I wish I was in that league. I mean, I feel like it would be a perfect league for me to be in.
The funny thing is, the guy we did it a live draft. It was all my rugby guys. We did a live draft, and I did it. Justin Jefferson first overall, and then the guy that had number 2, he picked JT, and
right.
his team looks really good.
Yeah,
like really good.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you text me your team right after you did it, last night.
Yeah.
And my first reaction was, oh man.
I mean,
it's a little shaky.
I had a strategy going in, and
right.
I wasn't going to let the first pick ruin that strategy.
Okay.
And so
No, I mean that's commitment. I mean, what's that movie, Draft Day?
Yeah.
I'm taking this guy no matter what.
Everybody was calling me Howie Roseman, the smartest guy in the room last night.
Yep.
Look at Howie right now.
Hey, we'll only see at the end of the year what happens.
Hey, I'm the one that picked Jefferson, not Howie. Just saying.
Yeah, that's true.
Brad says, if you have the third pick in a 10-man league PPR, do you go running back, then wide receiver, or wide receiver, or running back? Just wondering what you guys think.
You know my feelings. Yeah. I mean, it's
running
pretty
back
simple.
The first 6
yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple. I go running back. Especially 3, you're going to get a top 3 running back. Yeah, I mean, I'm all over it. And then maybe you get a guy like Jimmy who says I'm living and dying by getting a wide receiver first round, and now you got a top 2 running back. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm 100% going running back, stacking that up. And then there's a plethora of wide receivers. Like we were saying, Lazar, Kirk. There's going to be a lot of number 1 wide receivers that are going to be in the 7th to 10th round for you.
Yeah. Now, if you have the third pick, that means you're going to have the 17th pick in the second round in
Correct.
the 10-man.
Yeah.
So that's around that 17 area. Devontae Adams has a possibility of going down there.
Right, and I'm looking at it like Saquon's going to be around there.
Well, yeah, I got Saquon 24th last night.
I'm all over that. Like, if I could get a Saquon, if I could go Najee Harris, Dalvin Cook, JT, CMC, and then my wraparound in the second round is going to be Saquon. Yeah, I mean, that's a heck of a start to a lineup.
Yeah. By the way, Najee Harris, I think he's going to be the best running back in fantasy football this year.
I'm not denying it.
Like
yeah.
him with either Trubisky or guy from Pittsburgh, the rookie, escaping my mind.
Pickett.
Yeah, Pickett.
Yeah.
Him paired with either one of those quarterbacks they always have a great offensive line.
Yep.
They're in a Mike Tomlin offense.
Yeah, I feel like he averaged, like 6-7 catches last year?
Yeah. I mean, you look at Le'Veon Bell, you look at James Conner, they just thrive with Mike Tomlin.
Yes.
I mean, Najee Harris is going to thrive.
And he did good last year as a rookie.
Yeah. If you tell me who the top 3 running backs are going to be at the end of the year, it'll probably be in no particular order. Taylor, Najee Harris, and who do I say?
CMC's got to be there if he's healthy.
CMC, if he's healthy.
If he's healthy, he's there.
That's a thing where I got to wait and see with CMC.
Right,
That's why
agree.
I didn't touch him with a 39.5-foot pole yesterday.
I agree.
So, not big on tight ends this year. Wise to wait for a sleeper later or get one of the top 3 while I can. I'm not touching Mark Andrews, Travis Kelce, or Darren Waller in those first 5 rounds.
Either am I. I mean, you got a guy like Dallas Goedert, and I'm not being a homer here, but I think Dallas Goedert could have the potential to be a top 3 tight end. He's going sometimes in 12th, 14th round.
Yeah.
Right? And there's too much value in tight ends to take a Kelce in the 2nd or 3rd round.
Yeah.
Just craziness.
That just ruins that. In my opinion, that just ruins everything about what you're trying to do in the draft. Because what you're trying to do in the draft is get running backs that are going to be workhorses in good offense, or get wide receivers who are going to be in passing offense.
Who are going to get 20 targets a game.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
That should be the strategy. Now, if you tell me that Mark Andrews is the number 1 receiver on that team, then yeah, maybe. But you only get 1 tight end, and if you get 2 wide receivers that are giving you 38 points combined a week,
right,
like average,
yeah,
and then you go get a tight end that could get you 10 or 11 a week, then I'm living with that
all day. I'm with you. I'm taking tight end. Literally, I'll take 2 bench running backs and 2 bench wide receivers before I even touch my starting tight end.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I did. I mean, that's why I ended up with Hunter Henry last night.
Right.
And Hunter Henry, he's a just
Boomer bust guy.
red zone fiend. I mean,
Yeah.
if he gets a touchdown, you're going to get 12 points.
Right. Yeah, he's a
for him.
complete boomer bust. If healthy, he's going to put up numbers.
Yeah.
Right? When he's on the field, he puts up numbers.
Especially in that offense with Mac Jones.
Yeah, and there's a lot of tight ends like that.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, Cincinnati has 2 of them.
Yeah.
The Jets have 2 of them.
Yeah, the Jets got their tight end from last year. The Jets have, I don't know.
CJ Uzman.
Uzama
yeah.
Whatever, yeah.
And, the tight end from Denver that just got traded to Seattle.
Yeah,
Noah Fant. Yeah, I mean, he might have a good year. And then tight end from Denver.
Yep.
Wilson loves to use tight ends.
Mm-hmm. You got, what's his name? Oh, man. It escaped my head. Whatever. But Kittle, if you actually want to get one of those top tight ends, Kittle's been falling to the 4th and 5th rounds, I think.
Yeah.
I still wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't touch him either, but
I'd rather take him in the 4th or 5th than take Mark Andrews in the 2nd.
Or take everyone's falling in love with Pitts. Like,
don't touch
Marcus
Pitts.
Mariota's throwing to him, people.
Yeah,
what are we doing?
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm not touching any wide receiver from Atlanta.
Yeah. So, I'd rather take a quarterback in the 2nd round than take a tight end.
Easily.
Josh Allen. What's up? How are you? So, just a couple students of mine. So, Josh Allen in the 2nd round, 100% taking him over Mark Andrews. And I still wouldn't even touch Josh Allen in the 2nd round. I mean, I got Kyler Murray in the, what did I say, 6th or 7th round?
6th round? Yeah.
6th round?
Yeah,
it was a good
where
value.
he's going.
It was a good value pick because quarterbacks were just – somebody took a quarterback in the 5th,
right.
and then everybody took a quarterback
then
in the
they
5th.
just came off the board. Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I can't end up with Carson Wentz.
Right.
I can't end up with Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
So, and you said in the beginning of the show with Trevor Lawrence, he was one of my last picks.
I'm a huge Trevor Lawrence guy this year.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was one of my, I think, 4th to last pick, maybe the 13th round.
Yeah, when it's all said and done, I think he's going to be inserted in your starting lineup more than Murray. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of options this year to just not just go with what you typically go with. And that's just stack up on running backs in the first 5 rounds and get a stud within those rounds, a stud wide receiver in those rounds.
So are you, when you're doing the draft, I know there's a lot of people out there, right? You look at the points and you go, wow, quarterbacks put up 320 points or 300 points, and this running back's only putting up 170. Do you look at that and do you put value into that, like the projections that they have for this year?
Yeah, I made that mistake in my 14-man 2 years ago when I took Lamar Jackson in the 1st round.
Oh,
and ever since, I mean, it was a 14-man league, so it was tough.
Okay,
it's tough to try and figure out what you're going to do. So if you're in one of those leagues where points come by a scarcity, maybe go get one of those quarterbacks that give you 25 to 35 points a game. But if you're in just standard 10, 12-man league, there's no reason why you should be looking at that.
No. Yeah, I agree with you. A 14, 16-man league, if you have one of them, maybe you take a reach on a quarterback a little bit sooner, than you would normally on a 10 or a 12-man, especially an 8-man league. But I can't take a quarterback in the 1st round.
Yeah.
Even in a 24-man league.
Yeah. I hear you. But yeah, and everybody's been saying, like, all this young talent that's coming out of college as well, where they're just thriving in their rookie years, they're thriving in their 2nd years. I mean, Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson, they're 2 and 3 years into the league.
Right.
And they're top 8 picks.
Yeah.
Top 10 picks.
Yeah, and you're going to see that more and more, I think, where you're going to start valuing those rookies a little bit more, especially in a keeper league.
Yeah.
Right? If you guys are in a keeper league, I would take a little bit more of a risk on a rookie than a veteran.
Like a
right?
Chris Olave.
Chris Olave. One for me that I'm real high on, Christian Watson. Right? I think he's going to be the number 2 wide receiver up there. You know it's a passing offense. You know it's Aaron Rodgers, right?
And when it's a keeper league, that's when you start thinking about drafting those wide receivers higher than the running backs, because the running backs can have a great year and then just
Right.
fall after 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, you see it all the time. They have 1 year where they get 300 rushes and 300 touches, and they're done. That's their career.
Todd Gurley.
It happens all the time, yeah.
And I know we all hate him, but Ezekiel Elliott did something incredible.
Right.
I mean, we hate him as Eagle fans, but the amount of workload he got in his first
2 years,
and
yeah.
to still be chugging along in year 5, 6,
7. I think
7?
This is year 7 for him. Yeah,
that's unbelievable.
Yeah,
I mean, I think he's going to fall off. With all that being said, I think he is going to fall off this year, and Tony Pollard's going to take over that backfield.
I think at some point it has to. Right? We all know running back lives in the NFL is way less considerable than a wide receiver or a quarterback.
Yeah.
So, yeah, taking a rookie running back, especially in the keeper league, it's probably not a bad play either.
Yeah. But, I'm not taking Bryce Hall over Olave in a keeper league, I don't think. Just because of the uncertainty in New York when it comes to just their team in general.
Yeah, I mean, a Bryce Hall, maybe not, but a Najee Harris for me last year.
Yeah, Najee.
That was he was one of my keepers. I play a salary. I do a salary draft keeper league, and I paid a lot for him last year. But now it's value the second year. Yeah. Right, I keep him, and now it's a value pick.
Or drafting Jonathan Taylor 2 years ago.
Right.
When he was a rookie.
Yeah, and you get him for $10 and it only goes up 5 every keep.
Now all of a sudden
it's huge value.
He's the number 1 overall pick in 99% of the
right.
leagues.
Yeah, now he's going for $100.
Yeah.
And you got him for 20.
Yep. And he's your keeper. Yep. So that's something to think about as well. But when you start Kenneth Walker in Seattle. Kenneth Walker in Seattle.
You want to come on, boy?
One of those rookie running backs where you can take a flyer on him, because I think Seattle is just – I think they're a well-run organization, and I think they are going to figure it out. So if you're telling me Kenneth Walker or Bryce Hall, I'm going Kenneth Walker.
I'm going Kenneth Walker. Yeah, he's probably the best example this year of taking a running back who might not play the first 6 weeks of the season, but those last 6 weeks, he's going to be the workhorse.
Yep, exactly.
I think we have our first ranter who wants to come on.
Yep.
So I'm going to find him.
Yeah. Come stop by, come on, and just rant about anything you want. We have our first ranter of the night. What is your name, buddy?
Hi, my name's Nate.
Nate? Nice to meet you, Nate. I'm Jimmy. So what are you thinking about tonight in the sports landscape? Do you do any fantasy football? Are you a baseball guy, football?
Not really. I'm a basketball guy.
Basketball guy. So are we Sixers?
Yeah.
Sixers? That's good. That's good parenting right there. Cheering for the home team. So what do you think about the Sixers team this year? I know James. There's a lot of hype on James Harden saying that he will return to his old form like the Houston days, and I think if that happens, we're set up. We're set up. I think we do win a lot of games in the regular season, and I think the ultimate goal this year is to make it out of the second round, because they haven't done it since the process started. So what do you think about this Sixers team?
I love it. I love Maxey.
Who doesn't love Maxey?
I think he's going to get a lot better this season. About James Harden, I'm not too sure. He's getting a little older. Okay. But he's been working hard. I think that he'll be better than last year.
Yeah, I think that I was totally against the Sixers, and I still kind of am, just because I think they just ruined the organization when they got rid of Jimmy Butler. And they kept Ben Simmons, and
I love Jimmy Butler.
I love Jimmy Butler too. But when they picked Brett Brown over Jimmy Butler, that left a bad taste in my mouth. And I think ever since then, they've always switched the lineup up on Joel Embiid. But he never had the same consistent lineup. And I think this year with James Harden, with Tyrese Maxey, with Tobias Harris, with Joel Embiid is going to have a consistent lineup for the second straight year. So I do hear you. I love Tyrese Maxey. I think he's going to ball this year.
I think Tobias Harris needs to step it up a little.
Yeah, everybody thinks Tobias Harris needs to step it up a little. I loved what Tobias Harris did in the playoffs. I think He was probably one of the most consistent players on the team. I think his defense was above average. He was the best defender on the team. And I think people are going to start liking Tobias. And if the Sixers start winning, Tobias is going to be the X factor on this team. So I think we should just hang in there with Tobias Harris. I trust me. I don't like the contract because he's getting paid a lot of money just to do nothing. Like nothing, I guess. But
he's still scoring 15-plus points a night.
Yeah.
He's still a good player.
What do you think of Doc Rivers?
Doc Rivers is better than Brett Brown.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty good. I like how he works with Embiid and Harden as a duo.
Mm-hmm. Yep, he does always have his players' backs. We saw that with Ben Simmons, right? When Doc Rivers was just all over Ben Simmons throughout that playoff run, defending him until the very end. So that is one thing I do like about Doc. He is a player's coach. He just doesn't seem to treat the fans the way that we would like to be treated. But as long as he has his players' backs, I guess it doesn't matter. And as long as they win this year, I'm hoping. I mean, I don't think Joel Embiid has that many years left. So hopefully they could do something within the next 2 years, and hopefully we'll be having a parade on Broad Street.
Yeah, the Eastern Conference is tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think they are going to be good this year. I think they're going to be a top 5 team.
Top 5 team?
In the Eastern Conference.
I'm going to tell you something. I think they're going to be the best team in the Eastern Conference regular season. I think they're going to be the 1 seed. I think James Harden is a regular season player. He might be getting MVP votes this year, I think.
They have been 1 seed in the past couple years.
Yeah.
But the playoffs, they just can't seem to get out of the
ultimate goal is winning in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We appreciate you coming on. Make sure you tell your friends, and whenever you're back in Ocean City, you come back, and you can come on anytime you want. We can talk Sixers all day. So, all right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
So we got some Sixers love tonight.
Thank you. Good job, boy.
I know I have been criticizing the Sixers over the past few weeks, but I think I do like what the Sixers are doing in a way now that I'm thinking about it. I mean, as long as James Harden plays with regular season James Harden basketball and we make it to the playoffs and we have a nice seed and we possibly have that home court advantage like we did over the past few seasons.
Right.
I think anything can happen. I think not going out and getting Kevin Durant now, I think that is huge for keeping Tyrese Maxey, not only for this year, but just for the future. I think this kid's going to be a Sixer his entire career, and I think he has the possibility to be one of those top echelon guards, like a Trae Young, like a Ja Morant.
Yeah, I think he's trending that way, right? And time frame, it's kind of working out to where we're going to lose Harris, and if he is trending to a max player, we're going to have the money and the capability at least to max him out and keep him.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not sold on us winning and being a playoff team.
Yeah.
Right? Like you said, regular season, I think we're the 1 seed.
Yep.
Right? We're 1 or 2 seed. Going into the playoffs will be perfectly fine. It's just, do we get playoff James Harden and do we get injury Joe? Or are we actually going to get regular season James Harden and a healthy Joe? Yeah. Right? If you get that, you win. I don't care about Maxey. I don't care about Harris. I don't care about – if you don't have those 2, you cannot win.
I hear you.
That's it.
Pending an astronomical leap from Maxey again,
right?
You're not going to be able to do anything if those 2 guys aren't doing
anything.
I
don't think it would, no matter what the leap is that Maxey gives you.
Yeah.
He's not taking the ball and taking shots from Joe and Harden.
Yeah.
It's not happening, right? That's why I was on board with trading him. Right? I'm okay with trading him. If you're going to get me a guy who's going to demand the ball and who's not arguably, he is the best offensive player in the world right now in Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
You're right? I'm doing that all day.
There was no amount of convincing me getting rid of Tyrese Maxey.
I hear you.
Pending a Steph Curry trade package, I was not getting rid of Tyrese Maxey. I think Steph was the only one that I would like. I don't even think I would have wanted Dame.
Here it is. You trade Harris, Maxey, and whatever other little pieces. are we not the huge favorites in the East? Like, huge.
I mean, you look at the Nets last year. They were the huge favorite in the East. 2 years ago, they
right,
were huge
and it
favorites,
collapsed.
and
I
they
get
collapsed. I'm against building these super teams trying to win this title. I'm
it.
against
Okay.
it. The Warriors did it the right way, and then they went out and added a huge piece so that they could get 2 more.
Right.
But the Warriors did it the right way. All these teams that want to build these super teams, they don't do it the right way.
Do you not think we didn't do it
winning.
the right way, though? Like, right? I mean, Joel Embiid is a draft pick. Right, that's our staple, our draft pick. Now let's build around him.
Yeah, but you've been trying to build around him. You've been trying to build super teams around him for the past 4 or 5 years now.
The ultimate super team piece was out there, apparently. The ultimate super team piece.
I'm out against trying to build this, especially with the ego of Kevin Durant.
Okay.
Like I don't want to be that guy that says he only won when he went to a super team. But the facts of the matter is that's what happened. He never got it done with Oklahoma City with Russell Westbrook in his prime. When he leaves, Russell Westbrook wins MVP. When James Harden leaves, he wins MVP.
Right.
I mean, all 3 of them won MVPs, and they couldn't get it done. And now we're going to have 2 of them?
Yeah, I mean,
and no bench?
To his defense, I look at him in the Olympics, right? He carried Team USA. He carried them. He was the ultimate best player on the floor every single week or every single game.
But you're playing against just talent that's not as good as you are. Like your team is just that much better.
I get it. I hear you.
I mean, we're talking about the golden prize in the NBA Finals.
Right.
Hoisting that trophy. We all want that for Joel Embiid. We all want that for just our fans in general in Philadelphia. And I don't think Kevin Durant would have got it done.
This is what it comes down to, right? Do you think at the end of this year, I believe James Harden is going to be playoff James Harden, and he's going to flaunter, and we're going to be out of it. All right, second round, exit again. Do we max him out at the end of the year, or are we going to actually let him walk? Right, we know we're not trading him. That's not an option.
Well, he's got the 2-year deal, right?
Correct.
He's going to get paid more next year, but next year after this season coming
up, right?
It's a mutual option.
Correct.
So that means Daryl Morey and him are going to talk it out. That means Daryl Morey and him are either going to extend his contract,
max him out. Yep.
That is why I think he's going to be like MVP conversation at the end of this regular season, because I think he's going to be motivated by the money.
Great. I'm glad. I hope so. I don't care about regular season.
Well, that's what
it's playoff James.
Either do I, but I think that's exactly what's going to happen, and we're going to sign him. How old is he now? 35?
35, going to 36.
We will sign him until age 40. He will get a 4-year extension after this year.
Okay. So then every single year, we're going to have this conversation. We're going to be great in the regular season, and we're going to just crap out in the playoffs.
Yes,
again.
Because it was done the wrong way when we sold the team to Clement, or not sold, gave the team to the NBA.
And the same notion, you're sitting here saying, don't go get Kevin Durant.
No, because I don't think it's going to make a difference, because the common denominator is you're going to be able to have Tyrese Maxey, a 22-year-old kid who just leaped from year 1 to year 2. And he's going to keep on doing that.
He's never going to leap over Joel and Harden on this team. It's never going to happen.
6 years from now, Joel's not even going to be a Sixer. He's probably going to be retired, and it's going to be Tyrese Maxey's team at age 27. And you need to build around Tyrese.
Okay.
Because if you trade Tyrese Maxey for Kevin Durant right now, what is the future of the Sixers?
I absolutely love that we are talking 5 years from now winning a championship. And we don't care about these next 5 years.
Because I don't think you're going to win.
We're just throwing them away.
You're not going to win it with the glorified losers of the NBA over the past decade.
You don't think you're going to win if you go get Kevin Durant?
I do not think so. Because you don't have Steph Curry.
You give me Kevin Durant, it takes the ball away from Harden, takes the ball away from Joe, and I know I have a bona fide killer that's going to win in the playoffs.
Is Joel going to be healthy? Is Harden going to be
whether he is or isn't? I know I have a chance with
Durant. We're talking what happened with the Brooklyn Nets. I mean, it was just Kevin Durant, and he couldn't do it against Giannis. Yeah. I mean, I know he gave it his all, and probably an all-time playoff performance, but he didn't get it done. And is Joe going to stay healthy? Is James Harden going to be playoff James?
Yeah.
That's why I'm keeping Tyrese. I'm gambling. I'm going to stay home and gamble my chips with Tyrese.
We got another ranter.
Blood pressure in August with the NBA and the Sixers. That's what they do to you.
Yeah, sit down, bud. Sit down.
There you go. All right. What's your name, buddy?
Evan.
Evan, I'm Jimmy. Nice to meet you. Thank you for coming on today. What are we thinking about ranting about today? I see the Sixers.
Sixers and that's pretty much it.
Just the Sixers?
Yeah.
Did you just hear our little rant going on? Would you have traded Tyrese Maxey for Kevin Durant?
No.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's not what we want to do.
Hell no.
Because 6 years from now, it's going to be Tyrese Maxey's team. If we're thinking about 6 years from now, Kevin Durant's going to be out of the league, right? James Harden's going to be out of the league. And Joel Embiid's going to be 35 years old.
Yeah.
And he's been struggling to stay healthy at 25 years old. So the state of the team is going to be Tyrese Maxey 6 years from now. That's why, in my opinion, you couldn't get rid of him. Right? All right. What are we thinking about the Sixers team this year with Tyrese, with James Harden, with Tobias Harris, PJ Tucker, Joel Embiid? What do you think is going to happen?
I don't think they could make it win the finals, but I feel like they could probably get past the second round, which they haven't done in a long time.
Yep, that is the ultimate goal, getting past the second round, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. I think that when it comes down to it, I think James Harden is going to have a great regular season. And if he can carry that into the postseason, play some defense, he looks like he's physically capable again. Like he's not wearing the fat suit like he was in Houston. Yeah, Brooklyn and Houston, yeah. But yeah, I think they're gonna do great, dude. Do you have anything about Eagles or Phillies?
Not really.
Not really, no. All right. Well, thank you for coming on to the show. Do you have anything else? Do you think this? When do you think the Sixers will win the final? Do you think they ever will win the finals with Tyrese and Joe?
Not with Joel.
Oh man, so you're against Joel full-heartedly?
Nah, I like him. It's just like I don't think they need more players to help Embiid.
Yeah. So I've always been a big proponent in the fact that you can't win an NBA Finals being led by a big man, being led by a center. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So I think you and I are on the same boat.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, buddy. Thank you for coming on. And whenever you're around again, you can always come on.
Okay.
Good job, bud.
So
we got one more. Yep.
I don't think I'm going to let him. We got a Giants fan in the house. Wow. We actually went 2 for 2 with Philly. So that's the first time I've seen that since I did this. And now we have a New York guy. How are we doing? What's your name?
My name's Ian.
Ian, I'm Jimmy. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
What are we thinking about talking about today? You want to rant about how bad the Giants are?
I don't know.
You don't know? All right. What were you thinking about coming on for?
Probably just football talk.
Football talk? Are you a big just around the league guy? Like you like all the stars, like Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Jonathan Taylor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm mostly like Giants fan.
A Giants fan? All right, so last night I had a fantasy football draft, and I drafted Saquon Barkley in the second round. Do you think that was a mistake on my part? Do you think he's going to be hurt, or do you think he's actually going to stay healthy this year?
So, my thoughts on Saquon Barkley are that his first year was obviously very good, but he doesn't have the O-line to help him.
Yeah. I actually think that the Giants did do well in building in the trenches. I think they did build a good offensive line. They built a good defensive line, and I like your guys' new coach, Brian Dable. He came from Buffalo, so he's been working with Josh Allen for quite a while now. So if Daniel Jones has any semblance of turning into just half of what Josh Allen is, I think the offense could be pretty good this year.
Yeah.
What do you think? What place do you think the Giants are going to come in the division this year?
So I think the Giants could finish either going to be 4th or 3rd.
It's good. I like the realism.
Yeah.
Because if I was an Eagles fan, if the Eagles were in the same situation that the Giants are in right now, I would be talking myself into the fact that the Eagles have a chance to win the division. So I appreciate the realism.
So I think they might have a chance to beat out the Commanders, but I see Eagles and Cowboys finishing top 2 easily.
Yeah. But I think the Giants are on the right path. Do you have anything on like Yankees or Mets? Are you?
Yeah, I'm a Yankees fan.
All right, good. At least you're not a Mets fan. I don't think I would have been able to do it. I cannot stand Mets fans anymore. But I do appreciate Yankees. I appreciate how good of a team they are. Just year in and year out. I mean, you guys got your 27 rings and all that stuff. More rings than Phillies have playoff appearances, and the Phillies have been in the league for 140 years. So that's how bad the Phillies have been. But what do you think about the Yankees this year? Do you think they're
Yankees had a great first half, but the second half it fell apart in the beginning
Yeah.
and it wasn't very good. But they've just beat the Mets once or twice.
Yep, 2 games in a row. They swept them on a Monday and Tuesday night. So.
Yeah, so that was pretty good. Hoping for a turnaround in the drought that they've had. Yeah.
I mean, I think you guys just have to worry about Houston when it comes to the AL. And if you guys could get past Houston, I think you guys are going to the World Series.
Yeah.
And hopefully it's a Phillies-Yankees World Series. Get some revenge from 2009, right?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, buddy. We appreciate it. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yep. Have a great rest of your week, all right?
You too.
Thanks. All right, so that was a very knowledgeable New York fan. Very real.
You got one more.
Got one more.
Yeah, hop in.
Talking New York.
Sit
again.
down. Sit down, bud.
Sorry.
Johnny cut me off during my nice New York phrase, but how we doing?
Good.
We're doing good. My name's Jimmy. What's yours?
Ryan.
Ryan. Nice to meet you. What are we thinking about today? I gotta lower the camera for you. There you go.
Mainly just basketball and
Basketball in general, like the NBA.
and hockey. Yeah.
Hockey. What kind? Are you a Flyers fan?
I like the Flyers, but they just suck.
Yeah, I mean that's the way to be real, right there. They have not been good since 1975.
Yeah.
But
they should not have traded Giroux.
Giroux, you're a big Giroux. I was a big Giroux guy. When I was younger, when I was your age, I loved Claude Giroux. He was one of my favorite athletes in town. I remember in 2010 they made it to the Stanley Cup. Were you born in 2010?
Yeah. No. I was born in 2012.
2012. Okay. So in 2010 I was 11 years old, and they actually made it to the Stanley Cup in 2010. And Claude Giroux was about 21 years old, and he was leading the team. And we almost won the Stanley Cup, but we ended up losing to Chicago.
I remember. I don't know how that goal went in.
Yeah.
That Patty Kane shot.
Yep, Game 6. It was very devastating, and ever since then, the Flyers really haven't done anything. Every other year since then, they were in and out of the playoffs. But when we talk about the Flyers now, I don't think they're as bad as everybody says they are. Surprisingly, I think their defense is going to be good. I love their new coach, Tortorella.
Yep.
If they would have signed Goudreau, I think we honestly would have been a playoff team. But I think they're waiting until next year to actually go all in. So don't be surprised if the Flyers are good within the next year or two. Yep. That's the only thing I got to say about it.
I got one question.
Yes.
What happened to that knee?
To this knee?
Yeah.
So I'm actually a rugby player.
A rugby player?
Yeah, and I played on a rough field, and my knee got messed up from it.
That must have sucked.
Yeah, it was actually healing, and then at practice yesterday, I got kicked, and it opened back up. So yeah, it was brutal. But yeah, if ever think about playing any sport in the near future, rugby is a very fun sport, and you're gonna build friends for life, and you're gonna have a heck of a time if you play that sport. So just think about are you a hockey player?
Yeah.
Yeah. So hockey players, they're very tough. I love hockey players. I wish I would have learned how to skate when I was younger, because I definitely would have tried it out, but I just never had the time to do it. I was always playing baseball or something like that. But yeah, thank you so much, buddy. I appreciate you coming on the show. And if you ever want to come back, we're here every Wednesday night, 6:30. So. All right.
Thank you.
Have a great one.
You too.
Good luck in your sports.
Take care, guys.
All right. So Ryan Swope chimes in. Haha, this little man is not afraid to be blunt.
No, he came out firing, right? The
Flyers
suck. Yeah.
That should be a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Put that little kid's face on it and say Flyers suck. Get that on, Tommy.
It's 100% the truth.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's fun having the kids come on.
Yeah.
Right. It changes our topic. Right.
Yeah.
We were just talking fantasy football the whole time, and then you throw in some football, some basketball, some hockey. It's fun watching the kids and seeing the passion that they have for sports when you come up here.
And especially the kid was born my sister was born in 2012. And
right.
My sister, she's not really all in on just Philly sports, just because we haven't been good.
Right. There's nothing to cheer for or watch.
Pending one Super Bowl run, I mean, besides that, the Eagles had a couple fluke playoff appearances
Right.
since then. The Flyers haven't done anything.
No.
The Sixers have just been a colossal failure year in and year out. I mean, the kid before Ian, he comes on and says, or that one was Ryan. The kid before Ryan comes on and says that the Sixers they haven't made it past the second round in years.
It's not fun for them to watch. Yeah, it's especially when you have the high expectations.
Yeah,
right. You have the high expectations, and you get let down. And I see you peering up to the game.
We haven't even talked about the Phillies either.
We got bases loaded here.
The last kid played the hockey player. The Flyers suck. He was born in 2012.
Yeah.
Last time they made the playoffs, it was 2011.
Yeah. He's
never seen a playoff game before.
Right. Well, he is this year. I mean, we moved up. We moved up another spot, right?
Another run.
So hopefully we get to move up. We got 2 more ranters here. All right. You want to keep everyone apprised of the game and do the ranters? All right, here you go, buddy.
So we got Shane.
Yeah, buddy, sit down. I'll put it on you.
Castellanos is up to the plate, and we have another ranter on. Buddy, what is your name? Thank you for joining the show.
Shane.
Shane, my name's Jimmy. Nice to meet you. What are we thinking about talking about tonight? We want to rant. You can rant about anything sports, anything you want. We'll talk about it.
Football?
Are you an Eagles fan?
Yeah.
Eagles fan? What do you think about the Eagles' chances this year? I think they have a good chance pending Jalen Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about Jalen Hurts?
He's doing pretty good.
He's doing pretty good? You like him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like him too. I hope he comes out throwing the football. I hope that he comes out, throws the football, uses his legs and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But what did you think of the off-season additions like A.J. Brown or Jordan Davis they drafted, Nakobe Dean, like all those guys? You like what they did there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. What do you think of the Eagles Super Bowl chances this year?
I don't know. I mean, they're doing good, but I don't know if they're going to win the Super Bowl, but they're doing good.
Yeah. How old were you when they did win the Super Bowl in 2018?
So I was 6 years old.
You were 6 years old. All right. So back when in 2005, the Eagles made the Super Bowl, and I was 6 years old. And they ended up losing that Super Bowl. And all I remember is just crying my eyes out. I don't even know why I was crying. I was just crying. I don't remember watching the game. I just remember watching the end of the game, and they lost, and I was very disappointed. So how did you feel when they won the Super Bowl in 2018 when you were 6 years old?
I was good. Like, I woke up because I didn't stay up till the whole game.
Okay.
And I asked my mom, like, did they win? And she said, yeah. And I was really happy.
That's awesome. That's good parenting right there. So are you all Eagles? You like Phillies, Sixers, and Flyers, and two?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I'm named after, I forgot his last name.
Shane Victorino.
Yeah.
So you were born in what, 2012 then? 2012. So Shane Victorino in 2008. When the Phillies won the World Series, Shane Victorino was a big piece in the Phillies winning that World Series. So that's good. That's great. Thank you so much for coming on, Shane. I appreciate it. Thank you. And Johnny's going to be coming on right now again. I just think.
You have to talk though because they can't hear you.
Come on, buddy.
Go ahead. You want to do it? Talk sports.
Any sport.
No.
Do the Union.
Soccer.
A little Union soccer.
There you
First
go.
place right now, 5 for 5. You're going to have to enlighten me on the Union because I watch here and there. I know they're in first place right now, but I am not really hip with the Union right now. I think once they make it into the playoffs, I'll start watching. But what's your name, buddy?
Colin.
Colin, I'm Jimmy. Nice to meet you. So what do you think of the Union this year?
I haven't started watching it yet, so I don't know. But, well, I think they're doing good so far.
Yeah, I think they are in first place in their conference. I know last year they kind of got a little messed up in the semifinal. I remember they had COVID. Some guy had COVID, and then all 9 starters had to sit out, or 9 out of the 11 starters had to sit out. And that was during the semifinal of like the championship. So like they ended up losing that game, and they didn't make it to the final. So this year they all came back. They all came back healthy, and it looks like they're in first place. So I'm hoping that the Union can step it up and bring a championship to Philly. Yeah? You got anything on the Eagles or the Sixers or Phillies or Flyers?
I really only watch like soccer.
You watch soccer? So do you watch any other soccer team, or is it just like the Union?
Arsenal.
Arsenal? So you're a big EPL guy? I'm a big fan of Liverpool. I like Mo Salah. I like those guys, but yeah, I really don't know anything about Arsenal. Are they looking good this year? I know they were good back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking good?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Colin. Thank you for coming on. We appreciate you. Oh, we're even mixing in some soccer tonight. One more. Oh, he was a Philly bucket hat kid. I love that bucket hat. All right, how we doing today?
Good.
I'm Jimmy.
I'm Michael.
Michael, nice to meet you. What are we thinking about talking about today, Michael?
Baseball.
Baseball. What are we thinking about with baseball? Phillies fan?
Yeah.
Yep.
Big Phillies fan.
Oh, that's awesome. They just had the bases loaded with one out, and they didn't score.
Yeah, double play.
Castellanos?
Yeah.
Yep. What else is new? What do you think about their chances this year?
I think they have a good chance at winning their division if the Mets kind of fall.
Mm-hmm. So I was like that a week and a half ago, but then after what happened this weekend, where they just failed, it was just a colossal failure not being able to split that series. That Sunday loss was. Did you watch the game on Sunday?
I did not.
So Sunday they were up 4-0, and then the Mets tied at 4-4, and then we were up 7-4, and then the Mets actually ended up taking the lead 8-7, and then we ended up taking the lead again, and then the Mets ended up winning the game. So we blew 3 leads against the Mets on Sunday, and that's what cost us.
That should be a new record.
Yeah, I mean it looked like the old Phillies. I don't know what happened on Sunday. They seem to just not be able to beat the Mets, and I'm not really understanding why.
The Phillies haven't won consecutive games against the Mets, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, every other playoff team this year in the NL. Sorry about the flies; it's brutal tonight. But every other playoff team against the Phillies have played this year, they have a winning record against the Brewers, the Cardinals, the Padres, the Dodgers. They have a winning record against the Dodgers this year, and then
that I'm surprised about.
Yeah. So and then the Braves are 6-6. Mm-hmm. So every team besides the Mets, I think they're 20-15 against this year, which is good. Yeah. I mean, if we play any of those teams in the playoffs, I think we have a legit chance.
Yeah,
it's just those Mets.
Yeah.
I can't stand them.
The thing that I think got us the most is the Lindor trade a couple years ago.
Yeah. Would you have wanted Lindor?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think what actually killed us, honestly, I think Bryson Stott's going to be a stud. And I honestly think that Bryson Stott is more valuable than Franco Lindor just for the sole fact that Lindor's gotten paid. And we're not going to be able to, we don't have to pay Bryson Stott for the next 3 to 4 years. So Bryson Stott could just play, and then we'll pay him in 4 years, right?
Yeah.
I think what killed us was not getting Starlin Marte last year. Starlin Marte going to the Mets, I think that was just a killer. And
he's fast.
He's fast, and he's a contact hitter. I think the combination of Schwarber and Castellanos, I think I much rather would have gotten only one of them, and then you get Starlin Marte as the second guy.
Yeah.
But you can't live in the past right now.
I also know a lot about retro Phillies.
Retro Phillies.
1980.
1980. So what do you know about 1980?
So I know it was Mike Schmidt, Pete Rose. I know Pete Rose. I know a lot about Pete Rose. I know he cheated.
Well, he didn't cheat. He was gambling. He was gambling in a time where you weren't allowed to gamble. Yeah. I guess that's why you say it.
Yeah. But he was also the manager of the Expos when he played on them.
Okay. Yeah. I did not know that. So thank you for enlightening me tonight.
So I feel like my favorite player on that team was Mike Schmidt.
In 1980?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a good player.
Well, him, and the reason why the Phillies got over the hump in 1980 was because they went out and got Pete Rose. Before 1980 and 1979, they were making their come up, and they didn't have that extra piece. And Pete Rose came in, and they ended up winning the whole thing.
He was a really good player.
Yeah. I think it's kind of and the Phillies are down 1-0 right now. When Christopher Sanchez is starting, it's usually not going to be a good night.
Yeah.
Him and Bailey Falter.
I'm surprised they traded that Luis Castillo, the Reds.
Yeah.
He was a really good player.
He was. I wanted him. I wanted us to get him, but we didn't want to get rid. Those two young guys that we have down there, Mick Abel and Andrew Painter. I think they're going to be studs, and I think we got to be able to keep both of them. And in 2 years from now, I think they'll be good at the major league level.
Yeah.
So
I think since Nola's Cy Young candidate winner, he hasn't been as good, but I think he's rising back up.
Yeah. He had a heck of a performance against the Mets 2 weekends ago, but then this past weekend he just folded. But if he could pitch the way he pitched 2 weekends ago in the playoffs, I think this team is set.
Yeah, because like Zach Wheeler, Noah Syndergaard, and Aaron Nola is a great combo.
That's a great trio. Then you sprinkle in Ranger Suarez. I think Ranger Suarez is going to be really good in the playoffs too. All right. Thank you so much for coming on, buddy. We appreciate it. You have one last thing about the Phillies or anything? Or
So I actually know how to add Phillies numbers and then get another number from a whole other team. So like I could say like what's Mike Schmidt plus Pete Rose, and I'll get Roy Halladay 34.
Wow. Wow. That's some good knowledge. That is good knowledge. We appreciate you, buddy. Thank you for coming on to the show. You can come on anytime you want. We're here every Wednesday, 6:30. So that is some good baseball knowledge. I remember I was in kindergarten and I knew every number, every position of every Philly, but they stunk. So it didn't really matter. I knew Lieberthal as the catcher, Marlon Byrd in center field,
right?
Tomey at first base, but they never really amounted to anything.
I can't. So I'm sitting back, just so everyone knows here, I'm sitting back watching this, and it's just like absolute pleasure watching these kids.
Yeah.
Talking about stuff that you don't even know about. I don't even know
Pete
about.
Rose was a player manager for the Montreal Expos.
It's absolutely incredible. The fun and the love that you get from the passion of the kids.
Yeah.
That it just makes us love the sport so much more.
Yeah. And the fact that, like, this is probably, and I don't want to do any favorites, but this is probably our best night with the Ranters.
Yes.
And I think part of it is because 5 out of 6 of them or 4 out of 5 of them
we're all Philly guys. They're all Philly guys,
And it seems like the Philly guys have more knowledge than any other kid.
It really does seem that way. I don't know if it, to me, it was parenting. Right? You were brought up having to know about the sport, having to know about the Philadelphia fan base and the teams and why we cheer, why we boo, why we are so hated throughout the nation. Like you're taught that stuff, right? That just doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we boo when Nick Castellanos grounds into a double play in the first inning when the bases are loaded.
Right, even if he's hitting that, great clip over the last 25 games, right? If you still make a mistake, us fans are going to let you know, right?
Yeah.
And we're taught that by our parents.
Yeah. We boo when Christopher Sanchez has to make a spot start in a pennant race.
In a pennant race, yeah.
Like, that's when we boo. That's what these kids are starting to learn.
And when you get bases loaded with 1 out, you get nothing in.
Yep.
And what happened? I didn't even see how'd that go down.
It was a double. Castellanos grounded into a double play with the bases loaded, and then next inning they let Christopher Sanchez gives up a home run to a 6-hole hitter on the Cincinnati Reds. I mean, you can't make that stuff up. Why is Christopher Sanchez starting tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I can't answer that question. I know. I don't know who else we have. At this point, that kid Painter is absolutely killing.
I'm ready for him to come up during September.
Yeah, let me see him. Let me see him.
The worst that can happen is he gets his bell rung and he goes back down and he
rebuilds his confidence for 3 years.
Exactly.
Right? Because that's usually what it is, 3-year process.
Exactly. So, all right. I know we really didn't even get to talk about it much, but that Mets series this past weekend was just a colossal failure.
Yeah.
I know I said 3 out of 4 they were going to win. You said 3 out of 4 they were going to lose.
Yeah.
You were right.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
Should have been a split.
It should have 100% been a split. I mean, we blew a great pitch. I was at the game with Nola. He pitched great. Yeah, I know they gave up 7 runs, right? He pitched great. He made 2 mistakes, and the Mets capitalized them. We had a ton of chances. I think we left 9 guys on base again.
Yep.
I mean, it's
becoming a trend.
You're right. It's becoming a trend where we're not capitalizing, and every single time our pitcher does make a mistake, he's getting it taken out of the park.
Yep.
And that's not a bad thing, right? I mean, Nola threw a gem. You're going to have a bad pitch every now and then. You're going to make a mistake. A curveball's not going to curve. It's going to back up every now and then.
Yeah.
Right? And it just seems like every single mistake pitch that we make is going over the fence.
Yeah.
And every single mistake pitch that we get is a lazy pop-up, like we miss it by a couple inches.
Yeah. No, it's extremely frustrating. And the thing that really got to me was the fact that the Mets essentially threw up the white flag for the Sunday game.
Oh, yeah.
And Noah Syndergaard still didn't pitch on Sunday.
No.
That's what really just ruffled my feathers, to say.
Yeah, do you think that's a coach's decision? Is that no? I mean, Noah Syndergaard can't be afraid of the Mets, right?
So here's the thing. I thought it was a coach's decision until the fact when I really dug deep into the thought process of most of these leagues are becoming players' leagues.
100%.
And when the player wants to do something, 9 times out of 10, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And the fact that the Mets brought up a pitcher from their farm system and threw him on Sunday, they preserved Taijuan Walker for the Mets. They preserved Max Scherzer, they preserved Taijuan and Max for the Yankees.
Yeah.
They preserved DeGrom to just let him rest an extra day instead of taking us seriously. And they had to bring up a minor league pitcher to spot start on a Sunday.
2 of them, technically. I mean, you could say Peterson is too.
Yeah, but you took advantage of Pedersen.
Okay, but you still saw him.
Well, yeah. But the fact that after all of that, after them telling us, basically spitting on our face, saying we're not going to take you seriously, and the fact that they still took 3 out of 4, and the fact that your big trade deadline splash didn't play that Sunday, that just drives me up a wall.
I'm with you.
He did not pitch on Sunday.
I'm with you. And I hate it even more because it's like the guy's a rental, right? We're not signing him at the end of the year. He's a rental.
Well,
so why are we not just letting him gas out? Like, just throw him. Well, I don't care if he gets hurt.
But here's the problem. He pitched yesterday. On
Monday.
He
pitched great.
No, he pitched Monday night when we were live.
Right.
He's going to be pitching again. From Monday night, he's going to be pitching again in 5 days.
Correct.
So what was the difference between him pitching on Sunday or him pitching
Monday?
The following.
I know what you're saying.
So he's going to get 6 days off.
Yeah,
if he would have pitched Sunday.
Right.
But no, he wants to pitch against the Reds. He wants to pitch against the Pirates.
Yeah,
it drives me insane.
Are we 100% sure that's him? I'm not 100% sure that's him. I'm not going to bash the man for that yet.
No, I think 100%. I think that's him.
But even as an organization, I will bash the organization. Like I said, he's a rental. We're supposed to use him. We're supposed to gas him out. Yeah. He's a 5-starter. He needs to be an inning eater. I don't care if his arm falls off at the end of the year. I don't care.
And the fact he doesn't even pitch a lot of pitches when he does pitch. Like he's a contact. He pitches for contact.
Oh yeah, that's what he is now, right? I mean, when he first came into the league, dude was a monster.
But every time I see him pitch, 6th inning, he's at 63 pitches.
Right.
7th inning, he's at 77 pitches.
Yeah, he only strikes out 3-4 a game now.
He's not pitching a lot of pitches. So why not just say just reach down there, Noah, and say, hey, I want to pitch this Sunday. I want to go against my old team.
Yeah,
I want to make sure that we get this series split.
I can't answer that. I don't know the man. I don't know anything about him. I can't answer to his heart, but that's all it comes down to. His heart, will, determination, whatever you want to classify that as, he just doesn't have it, apparently. He doesn't have that competitive spirit where he wants to take the ball and be the guy.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just not him right now, right? He's at the end of his career. He's just battled to get back, right? To be able to throw the ball is a compliment to that man after what he's gone through in his career.
Yeah.
So, again, I'm not going to bash him. I'm not going to take anything from him. But as an organization, it is poor judgment that you got to give a guy like Sanchez a start in a pennant race where we're hot right now, and you're pretty much saying, this is a throwaway game.
I mean, this is a Girardi move. I mean, this is exactly what happened with Oakland.
Yeah.
In the first game of the series.
Or
the first game of the season where I don't even know what happened during that third game. I mean, you had, Bryce's elbow wasn't hurting by then.
Right.
I could understand putting Stubbs in to catch, but why was JT Realmuto out of the lineup that game 3?
I don't know.
Like starting off the season with a series sweep
would've been
against a
huge.
poverty franchise.
Right.
That would have just and I know
set the tone. Yep. I'm with you.
That's what this looks like. I mean, it's like they're accepting of the fact that they're okay with going 2 out of 3 against these Reds.
Well, not only that, it tells me that you're supposed to beat up on bad teams, and yes, we are. I hear you. I got it. But when you do a move like this, you're pretty much saying, okay, we're going to come down to their level and try to beat them bad for bad. Right? We're not going to put our best against them and try to beat them and make sure we win. We're going to play our worst guys and hope that we can still compete against them. To me, that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. I don't understand it. Beat up on the bad teams and go head-to-head against the good teams, and let's see if we can compete.
Yeah.
That's where we should be.
So, what? Nola pitched Friday, right?
Thursday, right?
I think it was the first game of the Mets series.
Thursday.
No, it was Friday night because the doubleheader was
it was Saturday. You're right.
So
it was Friday
Nola
night.
pitched Friday.
Yeah, the
so
concert was then, too. Yeah,
he would have got Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday off. So he would have been pitching on 4
days rest. That's why they did it, because of the doubleheader, right? It's technically 5 games, but it's 4 days.
Yeah, but Bailey Falter pitched. So
right,
what are we missing? Like, what math are we missing? Who didn't pitch?
Ranger didn't Ranger?
No, Ranger pitched last night.
Last night, right?
Yeah.
So he missed the whole entire.
So they just, I
Mets
guess,
series.
It's just the fact that they just had so many games in a certain amount of days.
I think the doubleheader kind of throws you off a little bit.
I mean,
when it comes to starters,
Nola would have been the closest guy to pitch off the rest because Gibby pitched Sunday, Wheeler pitched Saturday,
right? Game 1.
Falter pitched Saturday.
Game 2.
So I guess you probably had to, but to be honest, I would have just went with a bullpen game tonight. Like, you know what Christopher Sanchez is.
Well,
if you wanted to give Aaron Nola one more day rest, you might as well just done a bullpen game today.
You can't go bullpen game because now your bullpen's hurt. You're missing 2 guys. All right, 2 key guys.
Then bring up freaking Andrew Painter.
That's where I am, right?
Like, you know what this guy is.
Yeah, I think he's serviceable, but I'm not relying on him. I'm glad that they didn't pitch him against the Mets.
Yeah, I guess it wouldn't have made a difference anyway because he still went 3 out of 4.
Yeah, and that's just no, that's not true because Falter's the one who won the game for us.
Yeah, exactly.
He threw a gem.
That's why I'm saying if you wanted to throw an extra guy, why not just stick with the rotation and keep the 6-man rotation until Bailey Falter faults?
Yeah.
But I guess if you didn't want to pitch Nola on 4 days,
you don't want to pitch Nola on 4 days. You don't want to pitch Wheeler on 4 days.
Syndergaard's going to be pitching on 4 days. Like, that was the reason why he didn't pitch on Sunday. You don't want him to be pitching on short days rest.
Correct. Yeah, I don't think Syndergaard will be on 4 days. He'll be on 5 days.
I saw the probables that he will be pitching on the 4 days rest. Now,
really?
He might be scratched, but the probables from ESPN on Monday night had him pitching this Friday.
Okay.
So
well, we'll see. I mean, if that's true, I'm happy. I want that. I want him throwing every time he can. I don't want to see a Sanchez. I don't want to see a Falter. I don't want to see those guys.
Yeah, I hear you. It's just so I think we get so frustrated with this team just because of the fact that the last time we saw them, they lost 1-0 in a playoff game when their record was 105 and what?
Right.
57.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm happy with the way this team's playing. Listen, it's a simple statement, but you only play who's on your schedule. And yes, we got beat up by the Mets.
Yep.
I thought that was expected, right? Mm-hmm. Just the way we were coming in, the way the Mets are hot too. Let's not forget, Mets are super hot.
Yeah.
All right. So they're a better team than us right now. It is. Yeah. Going to the playoffs, us moving up this one spot now ahead of the Padres, that puts us in the brackets where now we see the Dodgers second round.
We see the Braves
first round. Right. and that, to me, that's bye-bye.
Yeah.
Right? I want to fall back to that last wild card spot. Yeah. Let me see the Brewers or Cardinals, whoever it is, and then let me see the Mets.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, but even then, we see in 2011 where anything could happen in the playoffs, right? where the Phillies have the best record in the league.
Yeah.
And they have the best pitching staff, and they just fall apart.
Right. Well, we know that we don't have that this year.
Yeah.
We're going into whatever game, if we're playing the Dodgers or we're playing the Mets or the Braves. There you go, boy. We're behind. We're behind in every category. We're behind hitting. We're behind pitching, bullpen, starters. The Braves, the Mets, or the Dodgers.
When you get Bryce back in this lineup, we're 7 deep, and Bryson Stott's your 8-hole hitter.
The Dodgers are still have a better lineup.
Yeah,
and it's not even a question. It's not even a question, right? And the Mets might still be a better lineup. They're close.
I don't know.
They're close.
I every single night I think about what this lineup like Bryce Harper hitting 2 home runs in Lehigh Valley the other day. That really gets me excited.
That gets everyone excited. That gets everyone excited.
And he is literally a lineup changer. He is the MVP. So
he's
when
the
he
best
comes
player
back,
in the world right now.
And the fact that you were able to like separate yourself this far away from 500 with him being out, and then by the time he comes back, you can literally do anything with this lineup.
I don't think you can do anything with this lineup. I mean,
I think you can.
All right.
I mean, you talk about your boy Reese Hoskins going to the leadoff hitter, which I think Hoskins or Schwarber are going to be 1 or 4, either or.
Okay.
1 and 4. And then Bohm will probably be 2.
Yeah, Harper, I mean, Bohm's hitting the cover off the ball.
I don't, for the sole fact that I don't think you can move Bohm out of the top 3.
No, I mean, the dude's batting 340-something in the last 25 games.
Yeah. I do love Segura, but I think Segura can be, like we see what's just happening now.
Yeah, he's your 8-hole, 7-8 hole. Yeah.
Like Gene Segura is your 7-hole hitter. I mean, 1-1 now, first and second, 1 out, Kyle Schwarber's up. But the fact that you have that type of spark at the 7-hole with Gene Segura, where he could get on base if the top 6 didn't do anything.
Yeah, he's a potential 300 hitter. Right? Yeah. So he could restart the lineup at the 7th spot.
Yep, and then Bryson Stott, who's just been on fire, comes in at your 8-hole hitter.
Yeah, he's
and then
another
you throw
one.
in Marsh or Veerling at 9. I think this lineup is great.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I'm with you. Pitching beats hitting.
But if Nola and Wheeler pitch the way they pitched at Citi Field in the playoff,
you put in. Let's say Wheeler goes up against Nola goes up against DeGrom. Wheeler goes up against Scherzer. Mets are favorite in both.
You split that, and then
Mets are favorite in both though.
And then, but then you give me Ranger versus Bassett. I think Ranger's been a Cy Young candidate.
He has the second half of the season. Yeah, he has.
I mean, his ERA is damn near down the below 2 or below 3.
Yeah,
to the 2s.
No, he's been great. He's been great. I just don't think we match up. That's all. Yeah. I don't think we match up anywhere.
I think we do. I think anything can happen come playoff baseball time. I mean, you look what happened with Washington in 2019. Now, I know they had Scherzer. They had Patrick Corbin before he forgot how to pitch. They had Strasburg, who was the MVP. Like, they had those guys, but, like, thanks, buddy. We got people showing us on YouTube.
Yeah, and that's the best part. Is I always have them coming back, and they're like, the parents always tell me, they watched the show on their way home.
Yeah,
they watch the whole show all over again.
Yeah, but you tell me that Wheeler and Nola and Suarez, they can't be similar, like 3/4 of what Scherzer, Strasburg, and Corbin were in 2019.
So
our lineup was better than their lineup. I mean, Rendon, Trey Turner, and Soto, they were pretty damn good.
That's a good 3-4-5.
Yeah.
Or 2-3-4, however they.
But we're up there because our lineup's very deep.
It's very deep. Yeah, I mean, we go 7 pretty solid, and the 8-9 is not like horrible.
Yeah.
So yeah, listen. I'm ready for playoff baseball. I think we're going to be there no matter what. When it all comes down to it, we'll be there, and I'll be glued to the TV and I'll be rooting.
Yeah.
I think we'll have a chance. I'm not going to sit here and say there's 0 chance we beat all these teams, but I think we're going to be an underdog in almost every series besides maybe the Brewers. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think, honestly, the Cardinals will be favored.
I think they'll be favored against us.
I don't think their pitching staff's all that, but
they know how to win. That's a franchise that just –
they do it the right way.
They know how to win. and you can't teach that. That can't be brought upon you. That literally just has to be going through the experience of it. And this lineup that the Phillies have, not that many people have been through it.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it, and
how many people have been?
Castellanos-
How many people have been in the playoffs in this lineup?
Castellanos in Detroit, and he was a young
right?
then.
Yeah.
Bryce Harper's been there a couple times when he was younger.
I mean, that's about it, right?
JT's never been. Reese has never been.
Gene, I don't think has.
Gene,
maybe with Seattle, but I don't think so.
No, where was he before Seattle? Was he with me Milwaukee?
Milwaukee, I believe. Yeah,
I think he was there with Milwaukee, but I don't think they did anything. Stott, obviously, no.
Bohm, no.
Schwarber. I mean, Schwarber's the only guy that's been to playoff baseball.
Yeah.
It was Chicago.
Yeah,
so
competitive baseball.
Guy.
Yeah.
Chicago and Boston last year.
Right.
So, I mean,
but I'm just saying, there's not a lot of.
I mean, the pitching staff,
big game experience.
None of them in the pitching staff.
None. Yeah.
Gibby's always been on a losing team. Syndergaard,
and we already know Nola. The big knock on him is he collapses at the end of the year, right? September, October.
So just think about him.
I can't even imagine. Right.
Yeah, we really don't know about Nola until September 1st.
Right.
And another ground. He made it. Wow.
It out.
Reese.
You get one. There we go.
Yeah. That's still atrocious. I'm still waiting for Reese Hoskins to just play meaningful base or give us production during meaningful.
You said that last week, and I kind of don't understand that. I don't think you could put a number on is it importance in baseball, right? I think you could do that in basketball.
I mean, what did he do against the Mets these past 2 weekends?
What did anyone do?
I mean, but he's one of the leaders. He's the leader of the clubhouse. That's the reason why we didn't want to trade him, because he's the leader of the clubhouse.
Right. I know he's also a solid player.
Castellanos has this hitting streak, but he always hits it when it doesn't matter. I mean, Castellanos, JT, and Reese I have beef with because they put up the numbers when,
and they're probably the three hottest players on our team right now.
Yeah, against the schedule, and I know you can't complain. You can't change your schedule, but you can change the way you play.
Would you be happier if they were doing bad? Then you can justify being mad at them.
I would be happier if they actually competed against the Mets these past, not the weekend series at Citi Field,
right.
But if they competed with them at home this past weekend, I wouldn't have any beef with this team right now.
Right.
But the fact that not only did you blow that lead on Sunday, but you didn't even show up on Friday night and Saturday afternoon.
No, they were just throwaway games.
It was a failure.
Yeah, they were throwaway games.
And the bats were terrible. Like that's when I need Reese Hoskins to go hit a home run in the 7th inning. Yeah. I don't need that against the Pittsburgh Pirates.
I hear you. I get it. And I wish anyone would hit a home run in the 7th inning then. I don't care if it's Reese, JT, Bohm. I don't care who it is. It just has to be someone. But I do know I need it in this game also, right? Because we have to win these games.
Yeah, you have to.
So,
I mean, you're up. That was a good inning. That was a good bounce-back inning, and that's what this lineup can do. Now,
in baseball, it has to be every single day.
Yeah.
You can't pick and choose who you play. Hitting a baseball is the hardest thing to do. You have to do it against good teams and bad teams.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yep. You want to maybe get into some Eagles training camp before we got about one more segment left?
Here? A half hour.
I know Slay went down. I know Don was talking about it in the chat. Slay went down today, and apparently people were all over him on Twitter.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, he went down today, and just to answer being all over Slay, I think the contract, he's like a Tobias Harris type guy.
Okay.
His first year, I don't think he played well, not even a little bit in 2020.
Right.
I mean, he was doing well against tomato cans. And then the second that there was good competition, he
got burnt.
He failed.
Right.
And then the previous year, last year, he was excellent.
He did great.
Top corner of the league.
Yeah.
So I lost all my beef with Big Play Slay.
Right.
I know Evan and I were calling him Average Play Slay for the longest time. And then last year, he proved us wrong, and he got his name back. Big Play Slay.
I want to see a little bit more takeaway Slay.
Yeah.
I would like to see that. But, yeah, he was great last year. You can't complain about him. I don't think he let up a 100-yard game against them last year, did he?
No, he was unbelievable.
Yeah.
He was borderline one of the best corners in football last year.
Right.
Besides like a Jalen Ramsey or whatever.
And I think you get better this year, right? Because last year he had nobody rotating to him to help him. This year maybe he does because we have a trusted corner on the other side.
Yep. And
So,
he was also out today too.
Yeah, well,
but
I don't care.
I like Josh Jobe from Alabama.
I like Jobe. He was one of the guys that got criticized in the draft because I don't know if you remember, he sat out the playoff games in Alabama because he thought he was going to be a draft pick and didn't want to risk injury. Then he went undrafted.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a great signing by us.
Yeah.
And I do think he'll make this team.
Yep. I think he'll probably be the
number 5.
Well, he'll be that next piece to be an outside corner if one of them go down. I think.
Correct. I agree.
It's not going to be McPherson. McPherson stinks.
No,
he stinks out loud.
I'm with you. I think he will be. He's definitely Jobe is definitely an outside guy. I don't think he could play the inside slot.
Yeah, but that definitely gives you more flexibility because that means if one of them go down, Avonte can stay in the slot because we all know what Avonte does on the outside,
and we know what he does in the slot, which is very well.
One of the best slot corners in the league.
Probably. Yeah.
So then, if you tell me that you could trust Josh Jobe to play the outside, bring it on.
Yeah, right.
I mean, more Alabama talent. More Georgia talent. I'm all for it.
Yeah, and that's the undrafted guys that we did get are all SEC guys.
Yeah.
And I can't love Howie enough for doing that.
Yeah. But you even think about like all the later round picks that have contributed for us. They've mostly come from the SEC. I mean, Jalen Mills was a LSU guy. He was a starting corner for the Super Bowl team.
Yeah.
As much as a lot of people wanted to bash on Jalen Mills.
He wasn't bad here.
He was a very, very serviceable corner in the NFL.
And he went to New England and had a great year.
Yes.
Yeah.
You look at other late round guys. I mean, Jordan Mailata never played football, but if he did in the USA in college, I tell you one thing, he would have been in the SEC.
Right.
He has Georgia written all over him. He has Alabama written all over him.
Right.
So you just think about those guys. They seem to strike on these either undrafted or late round guys, and that's what makes me very excited about Josh Jobe.
I was all in for Jobe. We're doing the mock drafts and everything beforehand. He was always a 6th or 7th round pick for me.
Yeah.
I always loved him, and I knew it was a position of weakness for us. So taking a guy who comes from Alabama, who at least had the mindset, which I like, the mindset of, hey, I'm going to sit out this game because I know I'm going to be a professional player.
Yeah.
I know I can play in the next level, so I don't want to risk getting hurt the last game of college.
Yeah.
Right, I like guys that have that mindset.
Yeah, but it is pretty interesting that not one team wanted him for 7 times.
I get it. You can't change how another person looks at you.
Yeah.
But the way that you look at yourself says a lot to me.
Yeah.
If you put that much stock and that much value in yourself, then someone down the line at some point will find that also in you.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you on that one. Mariah comes in saying, can we please get rid of Rager? I'm all for it.
Yeah, please.
I am all for it.
I don't know if he does make this team. It literally has to be punt returns. But
he's bad at that.
I get it. I hear you.
Was I talking with you about this, or was I talking with Rob?
No, we talked a little bit. We talked a little bit about it.
I mean, I don't even understand how you could keep him. The dude gives you nothing. I mean, you look at the other receivers that will and should make this team. I mean, A.J. Brown, Zach Pascal, Devontae Smith, and Quez. They're all locks.
They're the 4
top
locks. 4. Yeah.
And then you sign Greg Ward for over $1 million. He's going to be on this team as the
correct.
He has to.
I agree. I think he's your 5th guy. I think he's a great slot guy. He's not going to be good for us on the outside, but I think he could be a good slot receiver for us.
Yeah.
And then you have the
Devin Allen,
and
who
then
Kane from Clemson.
Yeah, you had another guy that we drafted last year too. Tall kid, very fast. Why am I missing on him?
John Hightower.
Yeah, Hightower. I mean, there was big hype on him the last preseason.
It's almost unfair that you're even keeping these guys around if you're going to say that Jalen Rager is going to be your 6 and he's going to be your return guy. Like it's borderline unfair. That's the sign of a bad organization.
I don't know.
My opinion.
I don't know if money plays a factor into that, right? Because if you do cut him, you got to pay him a little bit. So I'm not 100% sure if money plays a factor into that or not.
If I was as rich as them, I would give him money to leave.
Okay.
That's the bottom line. Like, he stinks. He gives you nothing. He stinks out loud.
No, I'm with you. I think he's a horrible punt returner. I think he's even a worse receiver, which says a lot. So I don't think he's going to give us anything. If he has 2 catches this year, that should be an amazing stat.
Yeah, the fact that honestly, I think the fact that you got something for number 19, JJ.
Wow.
Like, I think that hurts us. I think that hurts the fact that we can that we would just let him go, because it seems like, oh my God, you got something for that guy who actually just does nothing.
I was literally going to say that. Like, it's funny that other teams hold JJ Whiteside a higher value than Reagor.
Yeah.
That says a lot.
Ian's chiming in. He was on the stream a few minutes ago, so we appreciate you, Ian. Make sure you guys check us out. Hit the like, subscribe to the channel. We have shows every single day on the A2D radio, so make sure you check everybody out. We have a lot of great personality here. Obviously, me and John here, 10th Street, Ocean City, New Jersey, all campus. So make sure you check us out. And we appreciate you, Ian. All right. So, yeah, the wide receiving room, it seems like you got a solid 5 with Greg Ward being that 5th. And then,
I'm happy with it. Yeah, I think Jalen Hurts should be really happy with how this wide receiver core has come together, considering we have drafted wide receiver after wide receiver after wide receiver. It seems like that's bust after bust after bust.
I mean, I know I'm going to keep harping on it, but this organization has given him an astronomical amount compared to what they gave Carson Wentz.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Or Donovan McNabb.
Or Donovan. Or Randall.
Yeah.
But let's just think about it from the Carson Wentz perspective.
Uh-huh.
A lot of people go after Carson Wentz's character, his leadership ability. Is it the fact that Jalen's just that much better of a person than Carson Wentz? Is that why he got this much better of a team than Carson Wentz did?
No.
So what happened? Because this team borderline seemed incompetent in 2019, 2020. What changed?
I think to me, it all comes down to green, right? It comes down to the money. Carson Wentz was the number 2 overall pick. He commanded a lot more money. Jalen Hurts is a second-round pick, commands nothing. You have more to spend.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's that simple.
That could be the bottom line. Yep. Mariah says, would you go back to the 2020 and draft Justin Jefferson? That means there's no Slim Reaper. Kind of glad where we are.
Yeah, you're right. And when you always go back and play that what-if game, right, you got to always consider the what-if of it changes the future, right? What if it changes what we have now?
Carson Wentz and Justin Jefferson could be the best duo. They could be up there with Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs if we get Justin Jefferson.
Talent-wise, yes. But with Carson Wentz up here, if he's the same way that he was.
But he's never had a receiver in his whole career. So you give him Justin Jefferson,
I think that changes his mental?
The ego gets put aside.
Okay.
In my opinion. But we're harping on something that will never happen.
Right.
But if you go back and draft Justin Jefferson in that draft and you don't draft Jalen Reagor, and then in round 2 you draft Jalen Hurts, but in round 1 you got clearly the best receiver, probably the best player in that draft.
Right.
I think that does a lot for Carson.
And I think, be right. And you know what you're going to do is this year that theory could be put to the test because he has a number 1 now.
Scary Terry is a guy.
He has Terry McLaurin, who is a legit number 1 talent.
Another wide receiver you could get in the 4th or 5th round this
year. Yeah. So Carson Wentz now does. He didn't have it in Indy. He didn't have it in Philly. He does have one now. So let's see, right? If he really puts that on check, puts the mental edge inside away, and really balls out like he did in 2017.
Yeah. And he has a hell of a good head coach. He has a great defense. Somebody just hit a home run for the Phillies. He has a great defense, great head coach.
Well, I believe I just read that Chase Young is now out for at least the first 4 games. They put him on the PUP list, I believe. Yeah, so I think that's a big piece for them.
They're still rolling in
number
3
1 overall
first-round
pick.
They're still rolling 3 first-round picks on that line.
True.
JT hit the home run.
He's hot.
Yeah,
he's hot.
Do it against the Mets.
Everyone who says he's not the best catcher in the league now, I want to hear you now.
No, he clearly is a top 3 catcher in the league. Clearly.
100% top 3. Who you putting above him now? Maybe Will Smith. That's it, right?
Will Smith. I mean,
I don't want to hear that Perez talk anymore.
yeah,
I don't want to hear it.
Salvi had a rough year at the plate this year, but he is
Yeah.
with Kansas City.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't want Salvi on this team. Just for the sole fact that we already have Kyle Schwarber and Nick Castellanos, who
Right, and
who are the same hitter at the plate.
And JT is leaps and bounds better defensively than Smith
yeah.
or Perez.
Yeah. No, I hear you. And I'll tell you one thing. I think we have the best backup catcher in baseball, too.
That's so weird because the dude looks like he's 12 and weighs 120 pounds.
Dude, I love him.
He's 5'5", 120. It's nuts.
You want to talk about playing Bradley Zimmer or whatever the hell his first name is?
Yeah.
I would put Garrett Stubbs out there.
In center field?
Yeah.
You just let him roam?
He can play the outfield.
Let him roam.
He's played left and right field before in his career.
He has.
So just throw him in center. Like, you're gonna pick up a guy that's batting 110 this year?
Yeah.
And throw him in center field?
Listen,
you might as well have the ghost of Odubel Herrera. Not even the full-on Odubel
Stubbs
Herrera.
is literally the ultimate opportunist person. Like, he has taken a chance that he has gotten on a good team and really, really maximized it to where he might get a decent deal in his starting job next year.
Yeah. No, yeah. He might, like, on a good playoff team, too.
Could be. I mean, yeah.
Like a Brewers team, maybe, or like a
team
Cardinal,
needing
like,
a catcher, yeah.
How
Cardinals,
much longer can Yachty stick around? Ryan says, how do you guys feel about the safety position for the Eagles? Not high on Anthony Harris. Should have upgraded over him at the practice. Don't even go. What's in front of them? You would want every position to be an importance and not have to settle for less. That's exactly why I wanted Kyle Hamilton over Jordan Davis.
And I will go on my grave with that. Like, that everyone wants to praise Howie for the great draft, and he did. I'm not knocking it, but we were there live in Vegas during that draft. And when we moved up, it was Hamilton, right? It had to be Hamilton.
Especially with the Ravens going right after us. Like, steal their safety from him. Steal him.
I think he's going to be a Hall of Famer, and that doesn't take anything away from Davis. I think Davis will be a great player.
Yeah.
But I think Hamilton's going to end up being the best player in this draft.
First preseason game, he intercepted. He got an interception.
He's going to be the best player that come out of this draft. He's going to be a Hall of Fame player, and we're going to be the team that says we missed on him again.
Yeah, but it could also be a thing between Brandon Graham and Earl Thomas. It could.
No, 100%. It could be that.
But Earl Thomas won Super Bowl.
or it could be where we're still going to be happy. We're still going to compete. We might even win a Super Bowl with Davis, right? And so I'm not going to knock it right now. No, you have nothing at safety. You thought you did. You went out like Tart has just been.
He literally hasn't been there. Like, literally, like, personal reasons has not been at camp, and that's what killed him.
Yeah,
like, he's there now. He played a lot in the second preseason game. I think he did well. I still think he's going to be the starting strong safety.
He has to be.
And I think Marcus Epps is going to be the free.
So do I.
But if you would have went out and got Kyle Hamilton instead of Jordan, like, and I love Jordan Davis. I was on the stream with everybody.
Right.
And I was being roasted for ripping the pick.
Yeah.
Because I wanted Hamilton.
So did I.
But you're already 9-10 deep on that defensive line. Like, Teron Jackson isn't like anything to mess around with. He's pretty good.
He's good.
Milton Williams is good. You still have
you
Hargrave locked up.
Yeah.
You signed Fletcher Cox again. Like, I know that's only 1 year.
You bring BG back.
BG's going to be sliding into the interior. You got Josh Sweat. You got Derek Barnett on the outside. You signed Hassan Reddick. Like, drafting Kyle Hamilton would have completed this defense.
It just seemed like it was the move that was needed, right? Because you took care of the linebacker position. You took care of bringing back the veterans in BG and making sure you got Fletch back for the price you wanted and all those different things. You just needed that safety. You went out and got Bradbury.
Yeah.
Right? You just needed that safety. If you would have got Kyle Hamilton in this draft, we're probably the top defense.
Yeah.
We're probably the top defense this year.
Yeah.
Right now, I still think we could be a top 5.
But honestly, I think they just did it for the future because I don't think Cox or Hargrave is going to be on the team come the start of next season.
Nope. Neither do I.
Because Cox isn't going to be re-signed, and I think they're going to trade away
And
Hargrave's
you're losing
contract.
BG. He's probably going. If he stays healthy all year, he's going to retire.
So they clearly drafted Davis for the future.
Correct.
But if you were going all out for a Super Bowl run this year, I think Hamilton would have been the pick. And even if you weren't all for the Super Bowl, Hamilton would have been your guy for at least 4 to 5 years on his rookie contract.
5-6 years if you tag him too. Like,
yeah.
And that's not an expensive position to tag. If you're going to tag a position, safety would be it.
Look at Jesse Bates.
12, right? 13, I think he got 12 to 13. That's I'll pay a Hall of Fame safety that all day.
Yeah. Mariah comes in, says, do you guys think Gannon will put it together so that the defense eats? I'm worried about this conservative approach. I think the sole fact that they switched from a 3-4, it tells me that he's willing to go into his bag of tricks, per se.
Oh, yeah.
It's the reason why he's gotten all these phone calls to be a head coach.
Yeah. I 100% see us leaving our corners, our coverage guys on the islands, and us coming after and just pinning our ears and coming after quarterbacks this year.
Yeah.
I think that's how he wants to coach, and I think he has the personnel now that he wanted last year. He got them this year.
Well, you think about it this way. We're all on Jalen Hurts, that he has all of his offensive weapons. Like, this is Jalen Hurts' time to shine. If you don't shine and we don't go where we need to go, where we're expecting you to go, you're going to be out. Same thing with Gannon.
Yeah,
Same thing with Gannon.
You're right. And there's no doubt this is the year, right? If they do have a top 5 defense, we could kiss him goodbye. He's a head coach next year.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Right.
And honestly, I would be happy about that no matter what, because I just don't like him.
No, you could not like him. If he's a good coordinator, I want to keep him, of course.
I don't know. I just look at the good teams that we did play last year, and the fact that you had completion percentages towards the 90s.
Right.
That's what threw me off, because there was never not even one adjustment made.
Ever. I don't think he could trust his linebackers, right? So he always had to get as much depth as possible with his safeties and his corners, because he couldn't trust the linebackers to cover the middle.
I hear you, but you didn't win any of those games against good teams. You got to make some. I understand you don't have the personnel, but you got to try something.
He did. He tried telling people, hey, I want this guy in the draft. I want that guy in the draft. And they laughed at him.
Just think of it this way. Tom Brady's QBR against the blitz over the past few seasons, it's the worst in football.
Yeah.
And you did not rush him not once during that playoff game.
Yeah,
not once.
You sit back and let him pick you apart. He's exactly what he's going to do.
And that's what killed me with Gannon, and that's why I don't really like him. And if he it's the same thing with Jalen. Jalen was very small in that playoff game. Right. So was Gannon. That's why I'm iffy on both of them.
And we said the same thing last year, right, with Nick Sirianni.
Yeah.
And he changed.
Yep.
And Gannon did change a little bit, right?
When he was playing Garrett Gilbert. It's like the Phillies talk again when Matt Veerman gets on base every single time against the Reds and the Pirates.
At some point, you got to beat the bad teams no matter what. I don't care how you do it. I don't care if you win by 1,000 or you win by 1. You got to win.
And I feel like I am treating the Phillies unfairly with these bad teams, because over the past 3 years, they have collapsed against these bad teams.
Especially the Marlins have just destroyed us.
Bryce had another hit in Lehigh tonight, I think.
Another double.
There.
Dude just hits.
Why is he number 4? If I'm number 3 on whoever's number 3 on Lehigh Valley, I'm literally giving him my jersey. Why is he wearing number 4?
Yeah, I'm sure he didn't want to take it.
Yeah, well, he's a good guy,
So
Philly guy.
Speaking of that, I know we were just talking a little football, but I want to change it to baseball. Him being down there, the big thing is, what's he going to do for the Iron Pigs? What's he going to give them? We heard Scherzer this year buying the $12,000 dinner and the AirPods for every player. What's Bryce going to do? Everyone's waiting to see what Bryce is going to do.
He'll probably do something. It'll probably be a dinner. It'll
be
a dinner, and it'll probably be maybe an Apple Watch piece.
Right. Yeah.
Or a good meal plan for the next few months, because I know some of those guys, their salaries aren't that good.
And that's the big thing. When you're a superstar in the pros and you come down for assignment, when you come down, you take care of the guys when you're leaving, right? You say, thank you. Let me take one of your spots for me to rehab, because I'm going back up soon.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a way of saying thank you. And, I am interested to see what he does. To me, that tells a lot about a man. That tells a lot about his character.
Yeah.
seeing that. And that says a lot about Scherzer,
Mhm.
right? The bulldog that he is, he really does care about his teammates.
Yeah.
You know, dropping $20,000 on guys that you don't know,
Yeah.
right? That
Exactly.
says a lot about your character.
Yeah. So I definitely think it'll be a nice dinner, and then I'm thinking more like a meal plan.
That'd be nice.
Yeah,
yeah,
a nice little.
I'm
Like,
sure that every player on that
get
team would love it.
Get everybody some porterhouses and a nice fillet,
Right?
Some Omaha steak package or whatever.
They will absolutely love that. I'm sure.
Yeah. Ryan Swope, going back to the Eagles, who will be under the radar player nobody is talking about this year for the Birds? I think Avante is going to be put in position to make plays this year. I know we talked about it a few minutes ago, but I think Maddox, he very well may lead the team in interceptions. But
Okay.
I feel like he's going to be put in space. Like, depending on, like, the great thing about, like, Gannon or whatever, you have no idea what his approach is on defense because
Correct.
A, he didn't show anything last year. B, apparently he has all this stuff just up in his binder that he could do anything with his defense. And now that he has the personnel, I feel like those guys like Marcus Epps or Avante Maddox, they're going to be capitalizing this year and making big plays.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think he's going to be a big part of how Gannon wants to play defense. I think even a bigger part of it, who I have being my underrated superstar this year, it's going to be TJ. I think TJ is going to be a big part of us holding teams to second and long.
Yeah.
To having that hit the hole, stop running plays on first down, to holding them to second and 8s.
Yeah.
Right? Second and 9s. If we do that, everything is open for Gannon and how he wants to coach.
Yeah.
And I think TJ is going to be the biggest factor in contributing to that.
Mm-hmm. Kaiser White's another guy.
Kaiser White is, yeah.
Like those guys in the middle of the defense, I think those are going to be the ones that contribute. And I like everything you said about TJ, but I just think Nakobe Dean's going to play his way to a starting role. And I don't think Kaiser is going to be losing that spot. Kaiser is going to be an every down linebacker.
No, Kaiser's an every down back. He's not coming off the field unless he's winded.
Yeah.
But I do think TJ and Dean are going to split snaps, reps, right? You're going to see TJ in first downs and second and shorts or third and shorts, and then you're going to see Dean in second and longs, third and longs, and then fourth quarters if we're up 2 touchdowns or something.
Yeah.
Right?
For sure. But, yeah. Chrome checks in.
What's up, Cromer?
Catch Chrome on basically any of these shows. They agree to disagree Wednesday nights, Thursday nights, birds of a feather. Catch them anywhere. But he says, hey, fellas, great poll question. I think the shift has moved to wide receiver over the past couple of years. I've won leagues with literally RB3 and RB4s featured with top receivers. I tend to focus more on a wide receiver QB and a tight end 5 to 10, and it's been magic for me. Agree to the poll. I mean, that's what I'm thinking about Chrome, too.
Yeah.
Like that shift from
right.
We're not – especially with the running backs nowadays, you never really know who's going to break out. Like Jonathan Taylor last year, when was he drafted? Second round?
Yeah, you didn't think he would be the number one guy.
Like that might be Najee this year. That might be ATN this year.
Yeah, I mean, it could be
Can't
Walker.
be Saquon.
Could be Walker in Seattle.
Could
if
be
he
Walker
starts.
in Seattle.
Like, you never know. Could be Williams in Denver.
Yeah,
right?
I definitely. That was the guy that I think was going to be top 3, Javonte Williams.
Yeah.
But could be ATN. Like that's why
could be any of the 6 running backs in San Fran.
Yeah.
Right?
You know what? Whatever running back it is, one of those running backs
They're
going
to
to
have a good year. Right.
It could be Dobbins coming off the ACL.
Yeah, he's another one.
But, that's why I think you needed to go get one of those prolific wide receivers because you never really know with that running back position.
Right.
You never know if CMC is going to stay healthy.
No, I'm with you. I just hate the inconsistency of the wide receiver spot. When I take a guy in the first round, I need him to make sure he goes out and gets me 20 points every week.
Yeah.
You can't rely on a wide receiver to do that.
Yeah.
Right? You a wide receiver, some days the defense is geared to him.
Unless you're Cooper Kupp last year.
Yeah, right. You're going to have
that'll never happen again.
You're going to have your guys who are as consistent as can be, but it's never like a running back, right?
Yeah.
You could stack against Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
But they have the best offensive line in football too.
Yeah.
Right? So So even if you stack against them, I trust that offensive line to still work through an 8-man box and get holes for JT.
Yeah. I mean, we saw what happened with a stacked 8-man box in the playoffs last year. We had the best offensive line in football, and they couldn't do anything with that 8-man stack.
Right,
so if teams are playing,
but we didn't get hurt getting run. Like, I mean, I don't think we ran enough to really test it.
Yeah.
Right, we wanted to beat it by throwing, and that's where we got hurt.
No, I hear you.
Right,
I definitely hear you. But we had the best offensive line in football, best run game in football, and we didn't do anything. So if teams look at that film of what the Buccaneers did to the Eagles, is that going to happen to the Colts every single day? Because they really don't have wide receivers. I mean, they have Pittman.
Pittman's a great wide receiver, I think.
Yeah, they have Pittman.
I think Pittman's a great wide receiver. You got decent tight ends.
Matt Ryan's a statue. Is he going to be able to go up against? Is he going to be able to go up against 8-man boxes? I mean, Frank Reich has a lot of work to do, in my opinion.
I think
that's why I still think it's the tightest division.
I think he does have the capability of doing it because he's a veteran. He knows, hey, 3 steps out. Whether that's out to the second row in the stands or that's out to my guy.
Yeah.
I think he knows it needs to be out.
Yep.
So I trust the Matt Ryan where I still don't trust Carson Wentz with that. Right? Carson Wentz is going to hold that ball until his head's taken off.
Yeah.
That's just him.
Yeah. I still think he had a very good season last year, pending 2 games. Like he showed up against good teams last year. It's just you really can't make it up.
He comes up in bad moments.
Yeah.
He shows bad moments really glaringly.
Yeah.
And it costs games.
What do you we got a few minutes left, but I know a lot of people are throwing around the name Dameon Pierce, Houston running back.
Correct.
I don't trust a running back from Houston. I don't trust a running back from Seattle. I don't trust a running back from New York, and it has nothing to do with those guys. It just has everything to the fact that they're going to be down a lot of games. They have bad offensive lines. Like, I would stay so far away from Bryce Hall, and I do like Kenny Walker, but I don't think he can do anything against.
The only reason I'm higher on Kenny Walker is because I think he's a pass catcher.
Yeah.
Right. I think he could catch a little bit better out of the backfield than some of the other guys, especially like a Pierce and a Hall.
Yeah.
But to your statement, those teams are going to be down a lot.
Yeah.
So the running game is going to be obsolete in the second half of a lot of those games.
Like Brinkman says, Dameon Pierce, Houston, James Cook, Buffalo, who I love.
A lot of people are all over him.
But Singletary had a very, very good end of the year last year.
When Singletary is healthy, he's a good talent.
He's their guy.
Yeah, he's a good talent.
So they're saying James Cook's going to get the opportunity. So when James Cook gets that opportunity, he's going to have to succeed right away, or he's going to lose his spot. I mean, Ramondre Stevenson, I'm not high on any New England running back. Brian Robinson, apparently, I talked to a Commanders fan last night. He was part of the draft. He is so high on Brian Robinson, it's not even funny.
A lot of people are.
Apparently he's saying that he very well may be the starter the second Antonio Gibson fumbles the ball.
Right. I mean, listen, Gibson is an elite, and he didn't show it his rookie year, but he is an elite running back coming out of the backfield in passing catching.
Yeah.
Right. I think he was a wide receiver that transferred to running back, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So he is an elite pass catcher coming out of the backfield. So I do think that he's going to have majority of the snaps. But, a lot of people are high on Robinson. He's a Bama product, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, you never know who's going to end up being the running back in some of these teams. And that's, again, why I go heavy running back in the beginning. Right, because I know a Dalvin Cook's always going to be the guy. I know a JT's always going to be the guy. Najee Harris is always going to be the guy. Those top guys are always going to be the guy.
Yeah.
If you draft a Bryce Hall or a Walker or a Pierce or anything like that, you don't know if they're going to be the guy.
Cook.
Yeah, Cook, right? They might not be the guy, and that could kill you.
That's like a 14-man league strategy. Like, if you're in a 10 to 12-man league, there's no reason why you should be waiting 3 rounds to get a running back.
Right, never.
So we got a couple minutes left. Phillies are up 6-1, bases loaded.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they've done it, as Mariah says, doing some damage with 2. Keep it coming. I think they have their last 4 runs scored with 2 outs.
2 outs?
Yeah.
All right.
Bohm had another hit, and Ryan says Bohm is a true professional hitter, and that's the reason why you can't take him out of the third, like the top 3
Yeah,
in the
I
lineup.
think
You can't.
No, Bohm is literally going to be a 300 hitter, I think, the rest of his career. His swing is just so smooth. His bat stays through the zone for like an hour, it feels like, because he's so long.
Yep. So I just saw the last 30 games for JT, and he's truly on fire. OPS of like 1,100 or something like that. So
every time he's hitting the ball, he's literally leveling out everything.
Yeah.
He's not missing anything.
Yeah.
He's barreling it up everywhere he hits it.
All right. Yep. We had a great show tonight. Phillies are up 6-1, bases loaded, 2 outs, bottom of the third. Make sure you continue watching that. Make sure you stay tuned to Agree to Disagree Wednesday nights. We're here at All Campus, the Ramp Booth, here every Wednesday. John Coyle to my left. I'm Jimmy Rodweller. Thank you guys so much. Thank you to everybody who contributed. We are brought to you by All Campus. All Campus is giving away 20% to all of our subscribers. Yep. So if you're subscribed to the channel, come into the store and you get 20% off your purchase of any hat, T-shirt, etc. So make sure you come check us out. 10th Street, Ocean City, New Jersey. John Coyle, I'm Jimmy Rodweller. Have a great rest of your night, guys.
Take care, guys.